Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to TraderTV.Live. North American stock futures back in positive territory once again this morning after another volatile session we saw yesterday, giving back some of the gains from Monday's big rally. We had the Dow down about 143 points at the end of the day. Both the S&P and NASDAQ also closing lower. The NASDAQ returned to the underperformer of the group, down about 1.7%. Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, all closing lower on the session. On the earnings front this morning, we're watching Fubo TV shares lower, despite a little bit better than expected numbers for their latest quarter. Yes, they reported a loss, but it wasn't as big as expected. Ride-sharing company Lyft higher in the pre-market this morning after a corporate update aftermarket yesterday, and of course, Rocket, all about Rocket yesterday afternoon, becoming the latest target of Wall Street bets. So we'll have a look at Rocket shares heading lower so far in the pre-market on huge volume, though. It's Wednesday, March 3rd, 2021. TraderTV.Live starts now. There's a look at Asian markets from the overnight session. You can see 2+% for Shanghai and Hong Kong leading the way, 2% for Nifty in India as well. Nicely positive across the board. Let's go over to Europe and have a look at how things are shaping up. More positivity here for the most part. You can see Spain and the Swiss market to the downside. Everything else, though, looking pretty good. Let's go over to North America and have a look at more positive numbers here. As I mentioned, you can see all three U.S. markets to the upside. Futures here in Toronto pointing to a slight gain. Brazil's open, trending lower yet, 10% almost for Bitcoin today. Crude oil, 1% to the upside. Gold trading slightly lower to the downside. It is that time, guys. We are getting very, very close to a big number on the subscription side of things, so we're looking for some help. Good morning, guys. Yes, if you haven't done so already, if you're joining us early on this morning, make sure you take a second and subscribe to this channel as we work our way towards 200,000. You saw the bottle is already here, guys, waiting for us to get to that big number.
Bubbling over with excitement. I guess, well, you can be with crypto, with Rocket going to the upside, but hey, the truth about it is we actually don't get to enjoy that at all. Ever unless we get to that 200,000. So we got to look at it every single day until we get to that 200,000 subs, and it's going to sit there needling at us. Fortunately enough for me, I can't actually see it on Brendan's desk, so it's not going to be teasing me as much, except for when they put that shot up. It's going to be, look, it's going to be a wild day today. We have Mark Roberts coming through. Can't wait to hear his thoughts on some of the madness that you're seeing here. And Rocket continues to be a rocket ship with crazy action in the afternoon. Interesting, trading right back around. Actually, yeah, it just broke down through that 37.50. So in a bit of a retracement happening right now. There's going to be a lot to cover here, Sean. Let's almost jump right into it. And by the way, I love the salmon shirt. I haven't worn mine in like half a year.
Yeah, I had to ask the wife if it was appropriate for the season. She said it's fine. I don't know. I think it's like a spring shirt, spring summer.
Who cares?
I don't know. I'm trying to bring the good weather here. It's +1 degrees today. Yesterday, we were coming in at -17. Look at the NASDAQ puking right now. So, yeah, we're still nervous about, well, we had the ADP report, but we're still worried about on Friday, the jobs, the job is going to be a big one. DraftKings, hey, look, we will talk about Rocket, of course, and yeah, to the moon goes that stock. Not right now, though. Breaking back down, I'm going to talk about some levels it needs to hold. But yeah, look at DraftKings, guys. Another one that we've absolutely destroyed here. We loaded the boat back in $34, $35. I got it in multiple accounts. So really nice to see a new deal today, and $72.70 for DraftKings. Wow, what a big mover that was. Good thing I haven't paired any of that off. Diamond hands with DraftKings. Wish I didn't have so many diamond hands with Rocket. We're going to give it one more day here to see what it wants to do, and then we'll cash out of most of our shares. But yeah, right now down to 37. Here, we can call it up here. Down to $37 and making moves downwards here goes Rocket. Yeah, here it is. 44 high yesterday, all the way down 37 and change. We touched in the pre-market 46 today. I'll change the time frame, but look what's happening right now. 37, 37.02. We're going to be touching 36 very, very soon. This is the level 2. Quick check on the inbound. Look, no other show. Find me another show that has the imbalance locator. I'm ready to show it to you whenever you guys ask. There's Rocket. Not even that big right now, only 300,000 shares. An hour till open, man. Who knows where this thing will be, but we'll be trading it.
Yeah, going to be exciting. Big news, yeah, for DraftKings teaming up with Dish Network. We'll get into that. I want to show you this ADP number. If we could go to my screen here real quick, guys. Yeah, it was a big miss on this number. ADP National Employment, 117 versus 177 expected. So a miss of about 60,000 there. So that seems to be adding a little negativity to the start of the morning so far. Before we get any further, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss B.
Good morning, Brendan, and hey guys, welcome back everyone. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit thumbs up, and let's have another beautiful day together. Let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. We have a lot to talk about here this morning. Let's jump into Rocket right off the bat. Everybody's going to be, all eyes on Rocket once again today. We saw that volume come in midday yesterday and take this thing up 70% at its high before a little bit of a dip at the end of the session. Sean, as you said, coming back in a little bit, but here we go again, this time with Rocket.
Yeah, I want to put this to 4:30 a.m. So this is, it's not, we don't have any data past.
Go to like 6.
Till 6 o'clock, yeah. So, okay, right now you're down 10% from yesterday's open, right? Or yesterday's close. We closed roughly pretty high, like $42, $43 upside. Actually, I think we closed around here, 40, 41. And then now we're coming back down to 37 and change. Look, I mean, Rocket today is going to be a little bit of a slippery slope. Here's the 20-minute chart for Rocket. It's this level right here that I'm really nervous about. I thought we'd maybe test that in the middle of the day, or at least when we opened up. But this 36 level here that we held a couple times right before we started going. I mean, we already went. We went once we passed 30, but it was right about here. It started about 1 p.m. Really, Rocket started going earlier, but it had a big move off the open, then kind of consolidated. Once we broke that 30, it went. So that, to me, lets me know that there is, some kind of key level here, some kind of support. But this 36 is coming in right now, actually. So let's just see what that's doing. 36, 36.85. I mean, we're coming in on this a lot harder than we had thought and hoped for yesterday. There's the 36 level again. Bounce here, bounce here. This is what we're talking about. We had some resistance. So let's see if that resistance turns into support. It supported it. Actually, it was support yesterday. Support here, support. So I don't know, man. I'm a little nervous about that 36. I don't think we go anywhere, obviously, until we break above 44. And then if we break 44 today, then we go to 50. But it needs to happen. It needs to hold this 36 level. That's what I'm most worried about right now. If it doesn't hold that, then honestly, I think we could drop back down to 30. I know that sucks for everybody sort of holding the bag there. If you bought early yesterday, you're winning. But if you bought late, right now, it's going to be a tough one. Remember what we said with GameStop and AMC, man. Like Wall Street, look, I can sit here with some cool diamond emoji things and talk about, actually we have that. I'll talk about some diamond hands right now. I'm going to hit that while I say it. Look, we can sit here and do this all day, but really we're trying to trade and we're trying to make a little bit of money. We talked about it with GameStop. Those of you that held on forever are probably still holding it and wondering why you didn't get out, right? Wall Street is not built on losers, right? So you're going to have to see that, eventually these things are going to come down. We can beat them, and we have. What's up with that? 14 bagger yesterday. You talked about that on the chat, right? My calls went from 92 cents to $15, $16, same kind of thing. Probably the exact same ones we're talking about. So there's an opportunity to beat these guys, but you have to be a little wise and you have to get not too greedy. Let's not have huge diamond hands, guys. If it does break through 36, just watch out, lighten the load a little bit. I hate to say that, but if you're in like where I am at 20 and it's testing that 36, like right now, probably a decent time to get out. I did take some off yesterday. I think it was 41, maybe 40, 38, 39, something like that on the equity side of things, and then we're a third out of our options. So, yeah, we should have got out them all, but we'll wait to see. I don't think the run is over.
I don't think it's over either. And I want to go back to where we started the conversation yesterday and going into the early stages of Rocket on the daily chart here. And this is where we got that 30, the initial flush. It made a bottom at 18. And then you had this push, multi-day high into 30. So that's where that number came from. It resisted in the morning. It broke through in the afternoon. Fantastic. And then if you want to look at this 35 top, it's important to sort of look at these because everyone's watching the same charts, guys, and that's all that really matters. On the way back down from that 42 top, There was, and it's not an iceberg order, there was a buyer here at 35. One of the traders was like yelling about it on the floor, big order, and it wicked down through that 36 Sean's talking about, got one look and tipped off that 35 order, and then you saw the ramp to fresh highs in the afternoon. There were some halts in the afternoon, but I'll be looking at that 35. Even on the actual break of 30, the real clean retracement was at that 35 mark. So, I think that's going to be a bit of a line in the sand in the short term. If it holds that price, it's got to be a buy in front of it. And the difference between Rocket and another difference between Rocket and GameStop is, you go to this daily chart. This is not a company which has been sitting around at the bottom, shorting, going bankrupt, right? Like, this is a stock which has every reason in the world to have all kinds of support between 26 and 30. So, I mean, I would certainly anticipate, and I'm sort of talking about this little consolidation zone here way back into August. If it gets down to that price, you have to figure there's definitely going to be buyers. I would say in front of 30, but in that range as well. And you better believe that will embolden people that have the longs. It doesn't mean you shouldn't take profit, but this is just a different story.
All right, let's bring in Mark Roberts here, have a chat on his thoughts as far as what to expect for Wednesday's action. Mark Roberts, president of Sun Lake Strategies, with us as always on a Wednesday. Good morning, Mark. Going to be an exciting one here. Once again, this ADP report, first off, big miss as far as this number is concerned. Do we take much away from that ahead of Friday's number, or is that the one we should be paying most attention to?
I'm watching the 10-year very closely. The 10-year started to kick up. At first, there was no reaction, which I found very strange. And then all of a sudden, the market started to come off. So I'm not surprised it's coming off. And I'm looking for slightly lower on the S&P this morning.
As far as individual names that could be, a little bit more tied to this that we've seen over the past couple of days, we mentioned the tech names. We're back to the downside yesterday after the big bounce on Monday. Where are you going to be putting your focus?
I was selling into the rally on the FANG names, the Facebooks, the Amazons over the last few days, and moving more aggressively into stocks that have been beaten down, like LOW, bought some Newmont in the gold area, looking for value, looking for dividend, and looking for stocks that were generally oversold.
A couple of interesting points to discuss this morning when it comes to individual names. I mean, we mentioned Rocket. Here we go again with another one of these. Give us your take on this situation. Are you interested at all, on a short-term basis for any kind of opportunity here?
Huge short interest in the stock. No surprise that retail took it higher. The highest analyst recommendation is around 30. You had two downgrades. Zellman, who's very good in the housing space, and obviously has moved now into the insurance and so forth. And then you had RBC with a downgrade. Basically, they're looking for 30. Your traders, your good guys there, were looking at that 29-30 area. That's where I have my bid.
Going to be interesting to have a look at the banks again today. There was a story late in the day yesterday that kind of slid under the radar a little bit, I feel. JP Morgan coming out talking about looking to offload some of their office space in Manhattan. What do you make of that?
Not surprising. I was literally next to their space yesterday in the city. They're working aggressively, but the foot traffic in Manhattan is 0 to 0. It's really a sad situation. I'm not surprised that that's now becoming a major move for them.
Hi, Mark. Good to see you there. Talking about that Rocket 30. The NASDAQ just broke through 13,000. We're heading through 38.6 on the ES. And I immediately want to jump to, because I want to get your thoughts on, you mentioned lows, if I was listening correctly. And you said you were looking at some names that had pulled back and looking for opportunities. Now, obviously, if you're nibbling in this particular area, I mean, we just recently had a pullback into this 165. So if you got a price like that, and I'm sort of thinking whether it's Lowe's, whether it's Walmart, which I've been looking at the last couple of days here, are you now anticipating with this move to the downside that you might get a second crack at something like this, or would you not be adding a couple of days in a row? Would you be backing off and just waiting patiently? Was this just getting in a full position right now?
No, it was a half position. The Amazons, the Walmarts, the Targets, I wanted to wait and see how the day after their earnings, how the reaction was. These are names I'm looking at. I'm not buying yet. I think they have lower prices ahead. I think the comps will be quite difficult. But LOW is in a space where it's home improvement, and housing has been incredible. I bought some Toll Brothers as well, TOL. This is a space where I feel comfortable, and there's expansion. I like expansion.
Okay, so I mean, obviously, you know, I was showing you the NASDAQ because it's sort of leading the charge to the downside here, down that 0.5%. And one of the things I mentioned, and I want your thoughts on this because you're following the yields, and everyone's going to be concerned with, you know, what's going to go on in that tech space and the growth area in particular. So the words Operation Twist got thrown out a couple of days ago. What are your thoughts on, you know, the Fed maybe taking some kind of action, especially as Sean's leading has been talking about Friday's numbers? Do you think that chatter is going to perk up, and do you really think that something like Twist, of course, buying forward bonds, selling the short duration ones, and then evening out the balance sheet, so it's not actually increasing the Fed balance sheet, is that something that could happen? And what are your thoughts on how to react to it if they get serious about it?
Here's the situation. The Fed and the president have always been separate, of course. But I think for the first 100 days, they want to see how things go. March 14th is a key day as far as getting this $1 trillion plus bill done. I think you'll see more jawboning by the Fed, a lot of rhetoric. I don't see them taking much action. I don't see them changing their process at this point. That said, they may do it post March 14th or post 100 days and see how things go. But they will continue to say they're going to monitor. They're monitoring inflation, they're monitoring the 10-year, et cetera, et cetera. But we tend to not realize that if you just look at the market indicators, the 10-year, the dollar, they tend to lead. And I would look at those before I would wait to see what the Fed really has to say.
Right, and that's why we say every now and then we have to actually mention treasuries on this show. Before we get you out of here, I have to get your opinion on this because you know, on our watch list today is going to be Lyft, and of course some of the ride-sharing data coming out positively. They're up 3%. I do notice here that Uber is not. I mean, it's up at 1.5 here, but it's still kind of lagging a little bit to Lyft. And I sort of want your thoughts on this, because the way I would look at it, if the thesis behind Lyft being up 3% is, you know, positivity directly in ride-sharing business, which is a big-time reopen play, would it not be a clear chance to say, okay, well, if Uber's lagging on that kind of news, there's zero reason why it shouldn't be getting the same types of gains, and at some point it should catch up. I know, of course, it's a bit of a different model. There are more places. They have a bit of an expansive business, a little bit, but at the end of the day, some of that is actually a plus for Uber. So do you prefer Lyft to Uber? Do you think it should be getting more of a bump today, relatively?
It may get a sympathy bump. That's about it. I have a full position in Lyft from early February. I'm very happy with it. I watched Brian Roberts yesterday talk about Lyft. I've never heard somebody so bullish on a company. They seem to be on acceleration, not just doing things well. I think Lyft you buy on any dip, and I'd much prefer Lyft than Uber.
Okay, there you go. So I mean, and just the contrast to show you the chart. I mean, I was looking at Uber on that little dip right on the 50 period, and you're looking at Lyft consolidating at those highs. And you know, I've been on Team Uber, and I feel like ignoring Lyft has been a bit of a mistake. So thank you for your thoughts there, Mark. Best of luck for all of your trading with Stockfather. Can't wait to talk to you again. Take care, buddy.
Have a good day.
All right, guys, let's have a look at an early look at some upgrades and downgrades. Interesting names on here once again this morning. Roku, big one from the past couple of days, has been moving around. We have Fisker, Lemonade, and Kohl's all to the upside so far today. Target, Rocket companies, downgraded was Royal Bank of Canada, so a little one. But the other interesting one, UBS out with a positive note on Tesla this morning, guys.
All right. Good positive note there on UB. I mean, look, Tesla went down to 600 again, and we're going to see if it can hold that 700 right now on that note. Look, so give the people what they want. Rocket. I mean, it's hilarious that we did this. And I was just actually listening to the interview and writing down a few little notes there and chatting away. But it actually went to 36 there and held. So that was that spot that we were talking about, guys. We talked about that on the 20 period or the 20-minute moving average there. Was easy, or chart was very, very easy to see that yesterday, 36, 36, 36. We talked about that. If that did that up, then we were going to be in a problem there. It did hold 36, so that's a good win, man, if you're looking at Rocket right now. So we'll go long a little bit here. It's going to be the same thing as yesterday. Oh, thanks for the support on the video. We released a video yesterday on Stock Market Wisdom. I don't know if we have it up on one of the numbers there, but it was a very, very popular one about Rocket. So it's number 2. Okay, let me see if I can find it here, and I'll throw it up to you guys right quickly. Coming up number 2, there it is. So if you want to check out the video yesterday about Rocket that we did, it's the trade that I made yesterday. It was before all the chaos, but it does give you a little bit of an idea sort of how we trade and how I look at things. And so there's that bounce off 36. It happened again, man. There it is right there. We talked about that 36, 36, 36 yesterday. Hold. It does hold the line. I should be long like 36.20 here. I'm not, but I'm long right now 36.61. So a nice little 20-cent win. And then, guys, honestly, this 38 level, if God willing, if I get a chance to hit this level today, I'm going to. I'm going to smack this level pretty hard. So it's going to be 38 long. If we can get that going, it looks like, I mean, now we're rocking real. Now we're cooking with fire here a little bit. So let's see if we can get this going. 36.61. We're 40 cents now, 30 cents now in the money. That's not going to be enough for a Rocket trade, obviously, but we'll wait to see what happens around 38 and then a pullback back to 36. We're going to continue to get long. Look, if it breaks 36, I'll give it about $1, man, down to 35. But the 36 is what I'm looking at.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, when you talk about a support level, you're obviously not going to get long at 35.01, and if you get long at 35.01, fantastic. Looking for that dip into that price is going to be the way to go. I was looking around that 38. The only difference is 37.75 seems to be a little bit of something here. I mean, I looked at pre-market here, made a bit of a bottom. Also in the aftermarket. Now, I don't love post-market levels like that as much. Sometimes on earnings they're okay. But I'd sort of lean into the chance that if it's screaming off of the open anyways at 9:30, and you do have that support below you, like taking it early at that 37.75 just could get you a better price into the move. So that's probably the only difference I would have in terms of the breakout, looking at some of those levels here in the pre-market.
As far as the watch list is concerned, if you haven't done so already, we're going to get into what is on the list this morning. We send it out to you every single morning before we come on at 8:30. If you haven't done so, remember, head over to that link. The only way to see the morning note now from us, absolutely free to you. All you have to do is sign up with an email, and you can check out the watch list. Yeah, Rocket, obviously the number one on the list this morning. Just talked about that a little bit. So let's go on to what else we need to be aware of this morning. Fubo TV with a decent report, smaller than expected loss in their latest quarter. However, their subscriber numbers were through the roof, guys. So this was a little bit positive, but still a loss for Fubo.
You know, and it gets worse for them because Fubo getting into the sort of the sports betting business with their own acquisitions and partnerships in the last couple of months. And if you read our watch list, which you keep talking about, you're going to note that DraftKings has a team up with Dish. So, yeah, coming at you, unfortunately, Fubo. And one of the things that's interesting about Fubo is, I mean, if it can't close above 40 today, which at this point seems a little bit less likely, we just traded down below 39. You could get a continuation of what has been a bit of a pullback here. So, you know, my first look is going to be selling in here. You sort of have a double whammy, a little bit of disappointment with the loss that they had, and on top of that, you know, it takes the air out of, or the wind out of your sails when you're trying to make a pivot into what is definitely a fantastic growth opportunity for them getting into sports gambling, and it's perfect because they're a sports streaming business in particular. But DraftKings and Dish is just a bigger deal. And so you see that, and I feel like Fubo is going to be selling off of it. I wanted to have a look at this sort of 40 to 41 range if there was a bit of a buy. That little 930 pop, you'll see stocks that'll test off the bottom and then try to make a bit of a bounce. And if you can sell into that, that's usually the way I like to get into position. So something around that 40 to be able to defend some of those pre-market highs is the first look for me. If we have to be looking at a breakdown trade at 38, it's not ideal because of FUBO's volume, 700,000. But the spreads are actually pretty solid. So I haven't really seen anything that precludes a breakdown trade. I'd much prefer to be shorting on the way back up, hopefully around 930 or just at that open into that 40 range. But I'm going to be a seller of FUBO today. My mind could be changed, but not at this price.
Guys, we're already doing it here. Look, so there it is. Look at that pickup right there, 36.15. We picked up some rocket shares there. So in there, 36.15, it just immediately rips up for us. So we did take out a little bit there. I mean, literally 10% of the position we took out there. Now we're going to wait to see what happens at 37. But there's that defend again at 36. I don't like how many times this is touching down here, though. Remember, you had that double downgrade today with Rocket, and then we had also down, I mean, obviously it's down 12.5% here. So just watch out. I think we need to get this market open to let the traders come in. We'll see what happens at 9 o'clock. We could get another bump once traders start logging in. Some platforms allow trading starting at 9 o'clock. So we'll see if that can get another bump. I will take another piece off upside here, 36.90. I believe my order's at 91.92, something like that. So we'll wait to see if we get out there. And then after that, we'll let it ride up here to 38. And we'll see what happens at 38. But right now, a nice little, let me see, how many pennies are we in the money here? Let me just check. Okay, 40 cents now in the money, depending on the spread. So we'll wait to see, but a nice little 40-cent win all ready to start the day. Look, it's a cash cow as Rocket, but we're hoping for a lot more than this, guys. So let's see what happens at 9 o'clock.
A couple people talking about Fisker here, guys. Just double check. Yeah, there were multiple analyst moves on Fisker today. So Fisker still positive here, but we saw this big move back to the downside. I mean, very, very strong initially yesterday, but FSR gave back the entire day essentially into the close, guys. We're back at 28. I want to have a look at Fisker here.
Yeah, I mean, well, the first thing that jumps out, and it's clearly not moving on those upgrades, but anytime you get consolidation off of recent pops, and you've had a couple, you have that 20 to 22, that little breakout that took you to that 29, that's your biggest move. But we did just have one yesterday. It was over a 10% push right from 27, and this is a pre-market high break. So you're looking at like a 28 area, just under 28, taking into that 32. That's where you get the 10%. So giving you a shot to basically get that little dip. Now, of course, it has to hold, and I'd call it 27.50. That could be interesting. I mean, I just don't see any real pre-market volume off of this that would maybe love the trade even more. I mean, the levels look solid on Fisker here, and I'm going to lean to the buy side on this particular name. Even though it has gone to sleep at times, and if it goes to sleep up here, that's not the end of the world as long as it's above 27.50. I'd be looking at this one probably for like a post-open trade, like 5, 10, 15 minutes in, if we're still hovering off those levels and they have a chance to catch a bounce. Selling into it on low volume with the market heading towards the lows, I don't know, not going to be first on the list, but worth a note because it is giving you a chance at that ramp-up price.
Uh-oh, here we go. Okay, so there's the break, guys. Breakthrough, we get some out. Okay, Rocket, here we go. We're back, baby. This is why we're here. Let's watch and see what happens with Rocket now, guys. Up that now only 10% and starting to go. Look at these buys. Bang, bang. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So a bunch of buys downside right now, and now we're $1 plus in the money. So let's get those Wednesday feels right now, guys. Your boy is back. We've got this. We're trading what you guys want. And here it goes again, Brendan. We're on this one. Hope you guys can get this as well, but there it is right now. Let's see what happens through 38. But it's a banger. We're here and we're live. Let's go, guys.
Sean, maybe worth taking a second to just talk about the importance of having a plan when it comes to some of these today. And, maybe we also look at, the AMCs, the GMEs of the world, because, they might get some attention in this as well.
Yeah, so I mean, good question. I mean, we have a plan with Rock. We've already talked about that 38. We talked about loading up downside, and we will tweet this out, this trade right here as we go. But yeah, so look, honestly, Brendan, I'm going to kind of say a little bit opposite of what you're mentioning there. I'm not going to be looking at AMC today, flat out. I mean, look, could it move? Of course it could. Is it one of those names that is beloved by many in the short squeeze game? Of course. Same as GameStop and everything like that. But I do think it's super, super important that we identify the stocks that are moving. And if you are going to play this game, there's plenty of money to be made just sticking with Rocket or just sticking with GameStop or just sticking with AMC. I really think, you brought the question about having a plan. And I just think that If you're focused on 3, 4, 5 names, all with huge potential, then you will miss out. And it's just, focus on the one. And I'd rather spend, like 80% of my time on one name than 20% on 5 names. It's just, like, there's an opportunity here today with Rocket that I think it's a no-brainer here to look at this and to trade it. Whether or not I make money or not, it's really... Look, we'll make money. But whether or not we make money or not, we will try to focus all of our energy on names that are moving and then have the right plan for that, because sometimes when we spread a little bit too thin is where you get lazy and you miss opportunities, just like right here. I mean, this thing pops through 37. That's what we're waiting for. It goes all the way to that almost to that 38 level. It goes to 37.50 before turning around, right? So if I'm not looking at this, then I miss some of these pops, just like we're talking about right now. Missing that pop, like there's an opportunity. I mean, how many dollar winners really are Neil and I going to have? And I just had $1.50 right there in about 5 minutes, right? So you got to be able to watch out, trade your plan accordingly. And I think we have one. I think we have a solid one for Rocket. And I said that might happen right at 9 o'clock, and it sort of did. So now let's wait to see what happens if it holds this 36 level. But it looked like Rocket's trying to go again.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for something, and I'm sort of with you. I don't care about GameStop with relation to Rocket, but UWMC is a competitor. They're on their highs right now, up 26%. It's a pure sympathy play. I actually don't even know the short interest of this name, but it's breaking towards its highs. I mean, what I would love to see, because it's trying to take out this 1160, and it just took out a big level at 1150. I'd much prefer if Rocket was making a push into this. But I look at Rocket, which will be the leading indicator in this particular case, trying to bounce back off of that 36 level. If we were taking out 38, I'd be hitting this 1160 long. And again, I think one of the things is, if you're better at trading these smaller cap stocks, and not smaller cap, but more higher liquidity stocks or cheaper stocks, whatever, this is doing good volume. It's basically the same volume as Rocket, but there's plenty of liquidity. So if it's a little more comfortable with you, like 10, 20 cent winners at a time, 30, not necessarily dollars at a time, and it's psychological, not a bad name, and you might be able to use Rocket as a leading indicator, although that right now seems to be failing, because I don't like that high break with Rocket coming back in about to test that 36.
Yeah, UWMC just a fraction of a percent on the short side. Arun is here. It is 9 o'clock. We'll have a look at the futures. Feels negative, but I mean, we're what, 0.1% on the overall market here, Arun.
Yeah, the ADP report got us going. So here we are now sliding off. Here's the issue, though. We are running right into some support from a couple from last week, or late last week. So going down to 40, there's going to be some support. So what I'm thinking is that if we can stay underneath 70, then the bias should be to the sell side. Even though we're going into support, we might grind right through it. But if we break above 70, then I think you really do have to consider the possibility that the support's going to hold, and you look for some longs with the 40 as a stop going up. Now, the issue there is that the risk-reward ratio might not be right. So you may actually have to wait for it to break above 70, then come back down a little bit more to set up again. Because once you get into the 85 mark, going up to the 3900s, you do have a ton of resistance there. So 39.15 is the top end from earlier this week. Now we have 38.40 back in play from last week, and we're kind of near that support range. So just be aware, 85 going up to 39.15 is going to be resistance. 60 going down to 38.40 is going to be support. And here we are sitting at 63 going into the open. This move was, perpetuated by a report for the most part. And now we also have the beige book later on today from the Fed. So there's some more volatility there, possibility of volatility there. So you do have some headline risk throughout the day. There's a lot of stuff moving. So expect some volatility, especially around the open, because there will be a lot of decisions made because of where we are and what kind of got this move going. So expect some volatility near the open.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow as we head towards the open here. Guys, we are about 25 minutes away from getting the market open. Lyft Incorporated is higher in the pre-market after a big move after market yesterday, following a bit of a corporate update for them. They said they had their best week the prior week in months as far as ride-sharing capacity was concerned. They also said they now expect a smaller Q1 loss, guys. So nice move. If you have a look at the chart in the aftermarket specifically yesterday, we're kind of hovering around the 60-59 area this morning.
I want to, before we get into the Lyft, I want to say here, thank you guys for the super chat for Arun's, and specifically Austin, for Arun's new shirt fund. Now remember, you guys are allowed to send in potential new shirts. That's one of the things we talked about here. So if you want to see him in a new shirt, put the money where the mouth is. Certainly, I'm sure he's a good sport. He'll do it for you. We talked about Lyft a little bit with Mark, and I deferred to him because I've usually been looking at Uber, and I guess to the chagrin, because Lyft has been the stronger name here. I would still say rising tides lift all ships. But either way, there's no ignoring this little consolidation at the high here. It is also a clear reopen play as well. So you're looking at this 60, which has been a fail a couple of times. This is not the first time it tried to get through that 60 mark and failed. Now, caveat here is this is a post-market break. It then comes right back in and then holds that 60. And all of the trading above that 60 price is on completely insignificant volume. So, 60 is still holding on Lyft, and the stock does so little volume that getting in on a break is going to cost you in terms of spread. So I'd be much more interested in buying off of like a 58.50 level. You go back and the pullback in the afternoon. And then if you're buying in front of a 58.50 level, you give it to like yesterday's close and you hold through a 60 break. It's probably the best way to be playing Lyft. But it is really prime. And if it holds above 60, all systems will go probably for a swing to the upside there. Just make sure you're watching Friday's numbers, of course, as well, if you're trading into that.
Okay, so there's some talk here about Palantir. Let's just have a look quickly here on Palantir. So it's this size right here, 25.50. This is going to be one of these kind of plays, I think. Especially, look, I mean, the market's coming down. We know Palantir hasn't been wanting to go up. Yes, there goes Rocket breaking through 37 again. So that's going to be a good one there. We're long now. Still 90 cents in the money. What's up, Rob? I missed that one. 25.50. Rate here for Palantir. Just a lot of people asking about some levels there. We've held this 24.50 on Palantir, so we'll see what, if that can still be the case. And if not, then yeah, we'll be dumping that one. But I do like Palantir through there. I was going to switch my time frame there, but look at that big size rate on the board. So there goes, I mean, look, Rocket is just up, down, and around right now. It just went to 37.10, 37.20 and stopped. I do have an order up here around 37.50 to get out, just in case, get out some more there. 1, 2, 3 outs, all nicely out. They're 36.80, 36.70, and 36.60. So basically all in a dime spot there. And then we're putting some profits in our pocket right now, just because we don't know how this is going to play out once we do open. There's that UWMC. Neil just talked about that a little bit. Rocket still on a big sell, guys. So this imbalance is just going to have to figure itself out. I mean, it's going to send the stock down. We've talked about that. Generally speaking, once this is done, it relieves the pressure, and then we can start going back to the upside. So for right now, here comes Rocket screaming to the downside right now. So yeah, watch out. Breaking through 36 is going to be key. We're going to get some more in the mid 35s if that does happen, and then we'll wait to see if it cracks that 35.50, 35 area to the downside. So we're not going to hold this too much past 35. We are right now at a kill spot. I believe anyways that 36 is going to be very, very dangerous. We talked about why yesterday. Here. It held it. It does wick down, like what Neil was mentioning there, to 35 and change. So we'll see if that can hold. But once again, guys, there it is. 36 with the diamond hold again on the bottom. Not sure why we didn't get longer there. So yeah, 36.13. What an easy long. We'll take a little bit more and see if it can hold 36 again. But again, guys, 35 is the ultimate punch-out spot.
All right, a couple of things for those watching Palantir. I can show you a few notes of interest this morning. Kathy Wood's ARK Invest. We knew this already, but now we get the numbers. So their ARK ETF, which is the ARK Innovation, bought nearly 2.5 million shares of Palantir on that last dip, while their next generation internet ETF bought nearly 900,000 shares of Palantir over the past couple of weeks. Down here, though, I want to draw your attention to this. It was also upgraded today to a buy from neutral at Goldman Sachs. So worth noting as well, guys. A couple of interesting little notes there for Palantir to go along with today. Speaking of upgrades, let's talk about Tesla. UBS out with a positive note on the stock, more than doubling their price target. I mean, it was way low to begin with, but $730 price target now from UBS on Tesla. They're pointing specifically to their software and their self-driving capabilities that are going to essentially take over as the most profitable part of the business going forward.
I think if you're buying Tesla, you're buying Tesla for more reasons than just the strict EV play. Whoops, so that's an ugly scaling of that chart. But frankly, and we talked about this sort of in depth at the start of this dip, 700 was a good level. We mentioned this 600 to 620. So not ad nauseum going into it, but we look at these clusters, and it's important to not just look at the bottom end of those ranges from where you can pick them up, but then look at the top ends of those clusters here. Because when you start thinking about that 620 to where this little 660 formed that wedge, broke out literally right at the end of the year, and then we've actually held that support. And this last little run was off of that 660 level. I think you have some short-term cover when it comes to Tesla, at least at that particular level, which is only 20 bucks from here. So you can sort of ignore this little dip. My concern is it just feels like to me like buying on the way up is not the way to go here. And I want to be patient with some of these super growth names and just waiting to pick your spot. I do want to note here, and I hate to jump back over to this UWMC, but look, we got to cover what's moving, and UWMC made a break of $1. Right off of that 10, it was a huge order at 1150. That broke. The high pre-market high was 1160. Even in the midst of Rocket going down, this is not a short squeeze. It's a sympathy play. There's probably a lot of active traders that are sort of jumping in on the long bandwagon here for UWMC, but it's not actually getting squeezed. It's just, I think, a sympathy play. I'm going to be looking to fade it at some point, but it looks rather dangerous to the short side as much as it's turning around right here. I want to see what happens when it retests that pre-market high. Well, you know what, if it even retests that pre-market high, but if it's going to push new highs off the open, it could be good for one quick scalp trade, but you have to watch out for the harsh reversal. And if Rocket's taking out the lows, I don't know if I want to be long in this name if it's taking out that 35, 36 area.
Guys, we did it again. I mean, I don't know what else to say here about this, but there it is, 36.28 there. Buy, all the way to the upside now, 36.79. So I mean, if you're going to trade with us, but there's the other call right there, 36.20. So once again, another 60-cent win. I mean, these are all monster wins like this one, 36.14. That's $1.50 upside. Or even if you get out right where it goes up, that's 50 cents there. So you get out, then you reload. So that's 50 plus. Then you get this 33. Let's just say you get out for $1. That's a $1.50 winner right there. Now you have 36.28 again, taking this trade. Up to, even if you get out right now, 59s, that's another 30 cents. So all of these added up is over $2 in Rocket profits already, and we're just cruising around $1 range. So $2 worth of profit, $1 range if you scalp. So there it is. So not only do we have the capabilities of scalping, but we're also trying to hold a little bit here as well. So right now, Rocket, a very, very nice trade to start the morning. We'll see about getting some more off if it gets up to 37 again, and then we'll just hold to see when and if, hopefully, like I said, we test that 38 top again. That's what we're looking for here on Rocket.
All right, let's talk about crypto stocks. The group higher again in the pre-market, a little bit anyways. We're coming off now. Bitcoin, though, 52,675 at one point this morning. That was the high, but back below that 52,000 mark again. But the point, we retook 50,000 again, guys, overnight. So big move up here for Bitcoin.
Yeah. I mean, there it is right there, 52.6. And we talked about that. And Brendan, you came in today with a little bit of FOMO, not buying some of these dips there in Bitcoin. We tweeted that out on Sunday afternoon when it went to 43,000, that we thought that was a decent buying opportunity. Well, welcome to 25% if you did take that on the upside there. So I don't know. I'm not trying to time crypto, though. I mean, I'm not getting in and out of these plays. I'm trying to sell a little bit of Cardano now because of the run that's been on. We've talked about that. I'm not selling any of my Bitcoins. I'm not selling any of my Ether, things like that. I'm actually trying to buy on dips like I tweeted out. So even if that goes below that 43,000 level that I liked, I'm not worried about that. This is a long-term play. I'll pass this one on to my kids, is what I'm thinking anyways. So, maybe Bitcoin at that point might be worth nothing. Sorry about that, boys and girls. Or it could be worth everything, and therefore they would be liking Daddy a little bit more, although the way they're spoiled, if they don't like, then I don't know what's wrong. BTCCB right there, 960 today. I could tell you guys, look, I could cover Mara, Riot, things like that. I've talked about that. Those stocks will move themselves, SOS, SI. I don't think they're very logical in the way they move. So I would just say if you're trying to trade some Bitcoin, this is BTCC. .B is if you have Canadian funds, and .U, it's the first traded ETF here in Canada. It's a true Bitcoin ETF. You'll see it will move with Bitcoin. I've been watching this as it goes. I think it's pretty solid. And so if you did like Bitcoin and you do like what's happening in that space, I would just say BTCC.B is the name for you. And talking about this, forget about that's a daily chart. Rocket right now back to that level, man. I'm offering, and again, 94s. So that went to 96 or 95. I don't know how we got missed. It must have been a dark pool there. So be careful which gateways you're using if you do trade with us here at Day Trade the World. I should have sat on probably on NASDAQ or even a dark pool there, but I'm waiting to get out in the 90s. I'm going to move that down to about 89 right now, see if we can't take that, because we just loaded back up at 24, right? If I could take another 75-cent win, guys, then yeah, we're just going to keep backing this truck up. Just in case it does break lower, we got to make sure that we take some profits.
Yeah, and sort of in the crypto space, I mentioned yesterday, my take on like Silvergate, and you can look at any of those names that you want, but for me, it was like, why even be in this? And I'm sort of done trying to pick out anything except for Bitcoin. I mean, I like buying on 10% dips, and dipping around these other names is a lot of fun because you got some big returns, but they're not really necessarily as attractive, I think, unless you're sitting there and holding a name like this. I don't know if I'm going to be dipping into it too often. SOS might be there for a day trade, so I think that's going to be worth a watch. It is rather active. Some people have asked about that Ovid. I have been trading it in the pre-market. I can tell you, I was short when 5 broke originally. It started to look pretty good, and then around 480, ran into a bunch of resistance. I got out when I saw that resistance. I got right back in, and then averaged up right here in front of 550. That looked fantastic, but I can tell you, got blown out right there when it took out the top. It then failed. We're back in this range, and when it sits 480 to 5, I'm gonna be in the short in case it breaks at 480 for a bigger retracement. But if it breaks out, this time I'll actually cover in that 5 range and look to get in at a better price instead of last time when I was like trying to get back in that range. Forget about it. I'm gonna let it break 5 even going into the open and just get out of the trade, and then try to get back in if it holds like a 550. So I'm only bearish in this range for the breakdown. Once it gets up, I want to be patiently waiting for a test of those highs.
All right, want to make sure we get down to DraftKings here on the list. A couple to go here, but let's talk about some of the cannabis names, guys. We saw them pop back up yesterday on volume, making moves. Tilray, Aphria, and also Canopy among the leaders in the pre-market here as far as volume. Tilray and Aphria specifically have been talked about all kinds over the past week or so ahead of their merger completion, guys. We're almost, can you believe it, 1 month to go here until Q2.
Yeah, I can believe it. I can't believe how fast time goes just in general. I mean, I know anybody with kids, or especially in this trading community as well, to see what happens with time is crazy. It just keeps on going. So here's Aphria on a 20-minute chart. I like Aphria a little bit better than Tilray. It does have a little bit more, I don't know, common sense sometimes. Tilray will just start going crazy. If these weed space goes crazy and we could see Tilray going up 5%, 10%, then we know possibly the squeeze is on also in Tilray. We've seen big moves in these names, including just like back to Feb 11th, man, when Tilray was $29, $30, and then basically 2 or 3 days later, it drops to $15. Sorry, this is Aphria, sorry. Tilray went to $70 these days, but $30 down to $15. Like, that's a haircut and a half right there, down in only 3 days, right? So the violence continues here with some of these cannabis names. But with that being said, when there's good news around, and it's been kind of ticking up here, man. Like, we were down to 16, then we closed 17, we dipped back down to 18, then yesterday 18, 19. We touched as high as 21 yesterday. So this is the level that I like for today, $21. Rocket now breaking below 36, so we'll look at that in a minute. But right now, I like $21 on Aphria. But I mean, we're all here for one thing and one thing only today, Rocket. And here goes Rocket now to the downside. So it does break that 36 and come back almost instantly there. It goes as low as 35.93. Another good opportunity to pick some up. Unfortunately, like I was saying, I was just talking there a little bit about Aphria. So right now, we'll wait for some 35 prints to see if we get it. And then if it drops below 35, then we're flashing out of this one. But right now, Rocket on the move to the downside once again here. So be careful with this.
Yeah, I mean, the only difference is it's splitting hairs. I like that 35, maybe a little bit more as a level. So I just got in now when it tests a little bit closer. And again, You have to decide what, with your particular style, however you trade, how you want to get into it depending on your support or resistance. So this is also putting in a bit of a higher low. It did break that one time at 36, and because I like 35, I'll let it break 36 and then want it to test closer to catch that bounce. If we hold the higher low, then it's not a bad starting point, and I still like that 37.75 for breaks to the upside there. I see a few people asking about Sundial in the cannabis space. It's not doing anything. So look, if Sundial does something and starts moving, you can rest assured I'm probably going to be looking at it, but I'm just not seeing any reason to jump into that trade. For now, I'm looking at Ovid, I'm looking at that Fubo, and I'm looking at a Rocket going into this open. And of course, can't get away from that UWMC, which has a huge offer at 12, starting to come back in. I want to see a test of that previous pre-market high at 1160.
There was an offering, guys, this morning worth noting on Sundial, probably why a few people are looking at it. 93 or 98. I apologize, 98 million shares on offer for Sundial this morning. Microsoft on the list this morning. We don't have to take a look at it, not really doing anything. They were complaining about a hack to their email server yesterday. Let's go down to DraftKings. We'll have a look at some news regarding Dish Network. So DraftKings app going to be integrated into Dish Network's TV top set box, guys. So huge opportunity here, it looks like, for DraftKings.
Yeah, I was tweeting out a headline here from Google. You guys can look this one up. GOOGL is the symbol, of course. And basically, it's Google plans. Hold on a second. I'll show you in a second. I have Cardano up here, so we'll look at that right now. GOOGL. That's the symbol here. But okay, here it is right here, the new one. And it's kind of funny because I was looking at this with Google. Plans to stop selling ads based on individuals' browsing history. Yeah, like I said this to my wife the other day. There goes Rocket again, man. Great ideas that we've had there. That, you know, like I was looking for a new mattress. Now every single time I log into Instagram, it's mattress time, right? So that seems to be the norm there. So now they're going to stop doing that. I don't know if that sounds bad for me, for Google. But there it is again, guys. We did it. I know Neil did it. You know, I keep on bang, 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 like bang, bang, bang. This is how we're trading, guys. The money's going to keep flying in for me on this name, it looks like. Anyways, thank you for watching how I'm trading that Rocket. Someone said, okay, I talked about Cardano. So this is Cardano right here. I don't know if you guys can, maybe I can zoom in a little. There it is. Yeah, here we go. So I am selling some. Some people said that, no, he's always buying this. I'm not. I mean, I was buying this, honestly, I told you guys, Brendan knows, you guys all know if you've been watching this, like 18, 19, 20 cents, man, even lower than that. I'm not gonna tell you my exact price, but you know, let's put it this way, I didn't buy anything in this area. So now we're upside. And look, I mean, we talked about it all the time, pigs get slaughtered, and I'm not gonna get punched in the face again with some of these crypto names. So am I selling? Yeah. Okay, look, I sold 10%. I sold 10% of my Cardano holdings way upside. And believe it or not, that 10%, basically now I'm playing with house money. So let's just wait to see what happens now on the upside of Cardano. I love it. New contracts, they split, they hard forked yesterday or Monday with Mary, and now it's basically Ethereum 2.0. They can now build on it. I'm not gonna talk up Cardano because I've already done that. I'm just trying to give you guys a little bit of a heads up because I know there's a crypto audience here, that's for sure. And I'm a crypto trader, so I might as well talk a little bit about it. But there it is again, more money, more problems for Rocket. But I already tweeted this out today as well, guys. DraftKings, look, amazing. My phone's blowing up. Friends of mine crushing it right now on DraftKings, asking me, what do I do? What do I do? We're in at 35. We're in at 40. We're in at 45. What do we do now? We almost have a double up in this name. And what do I say? Guys, B-ball rejected coming up right now. Bang! Don't get out of your DraftKings shares now. You're up 6-7% already today. I mean, look at this run, man. This is why, again, that's not the daily chart. This is the daily chart on DraftKings. And look, it doesn't get any prettier than this. We were buying a lot of shares in this area here to the point where I logged in yesterday. Bye-bye, Rocket. Yeah, buddy. We'll talk about that in a minute as well as we're heading back to the upside. But DraftKings, Brendan, it's a great call today. New products, new moves. I think it was Dish Network now coming through. Fantasy sports. Neil and I have been doing fantasy sports since I think I was like 4 years old. So now we're going to the high side here. $74, man. What a great rip that was. Any dip we were buying a shit ton down here. We bought more when it dipped again. If that wasn't a gift, I don't know what was. And then this dip down here, this is where a lot of people are in that I know that talk to me about it. 47. So now you're up to 70 and change. Hold it, man, and hold it close. But yeah, we got pretty excited there about Rocket as Rocket just took that out, that 37.15.
And you know how I know that 47 price? You know why you have that price? Because 35 and 58. And if you took 2 entries at that point, you basically have that mid-40s entry. The only regret I have is always ignoring Penn, which looks pretty strong. There's only 5 minutes left, and I want to quickly talk about Nick. Thank you for the super chat. I just wanted to get to waste management because I see you bringing it up here. Not usually the type of stock we'll talk about for day trading, but I know you're asking on a longer time frame. Yes, double bottom, high or low here. It's probably a little bit more of a stable name, but breaking through this like 115 might give it a little bit of juice. This is probably not going to give you any kind of I think sexy return or anything in terms of catching a big time move, but it does afford you the opportunity of catching a little something on the way to the upside. I just don't know if you're going to get more in the short term than like a 5% move here on something like a waste management. But either way, I do notice it here. I'd love to see it actually close above 115. I think that would be a decent sign. It's not like it's going to run away from you if you let it close above 115 and buy after that. You're probably only lose like a dollar of the move or like 50 cents, something along those lines, because it's a pretty stable stock.
All right, I saw a couple of people talking about Cohen and company, guys. COHN, that was earnings, so big move. For COHN. Want to talk about this one, KMPH, another little tiny micro cap moving this morning up to $16, $17, so it is a little bit higher priced, thinly traded. Be very careful with this one. They got FDA approval for an epilepsy treatment that is going to hit the market very shortly. So 16.5, bit of a level here from the pre-market, and then above that 18. Want to see a flush on this one. It's still holding 15.5 here. Pretty strong for KMPH, guys.
Okay, so we just did take, again, guys, I mean, you can see the damage that we've been doing at the bottom of the screen there. We've already taken out multiple dollars already today on all of these positions, man. We just keep on loading back up, and then we keep on going, man. Okay, Andy C, I don't know. I'm just reading this about the bang, so I don't know if I'm getting set up here. Hey, guys. Oh, this is another one. Neil Roberts, one of your thoughts on WM. He'll get that in a second. And then my wife asked, who's the guy on TV that keeps yelling bang? I told her that he's making her money, so don't worry. So on that case, guys, we will go bang for you right there. I don't know what that is, but there we go. We'll do bang. We're on some sort of a loop here, guys, with these things here.
What the heck?
You may want to cancel that, Robbie. This is not going to stop. So there we go. All of the graphics coming right at you there. But this is the one we really want, Andy C. For you and your wife. Are they working again, guys? I don't know, but we're going to bang it off right now. Thank you for that love and that support there, guys. But here we go, guys. Rocket. Look at that out. In, out. There's that 37.50. It doesn't get much better than that, guys. 37.50 coming and going there. Perfect out for me. We sat there. We took that. It was actually 37.41 or 40, something like that. We take that out. Perfect out. Right near view up. Let's take 38, guys. The beat goes on. Let's do this.
I mean, I like 37.50 or 75. I still like 38 as well. I want to go to Ovid. This has actually worked out well. I'd hit a graphic here, but I'm kind of scared that it's going to break up on me. I talked about that $5 to $4.80 range. So those were my entries are going to be 95s first in. Then we also got in here at that 480 when it does break. It's starting to test lower. I did take the first out here just below that 470 mark, but it looks pretty good here, guys. And approaching, but again pulling back away from that 37.50. So I've covered my rocket. I will get back in on the dip. I will take it on the break as well. But going into 9:30, I do prefer to be flat for this open. I just feel like it's a little bit safer and then get that opening range trade. I'll sit in Ovid because I don't mind holding one of these small cap sort of gapper plays. I'll hold those into the open when they're in the money, though.
Okay, so I think without a doubt here, $45 on NEO should be taken out as well at some point today. So let's watch to see 45. I do like that. I like any dips into 43 on NIO. Quick time here as we'll check out. This is why, man. Look, where's Rocket now? everybody. Maybe it's going to show up in a minute now that I said that. There it is. Okay, so what happened to the sell pressure? What, you guys can't hold this stock down no more? Okay, so we'll see what happened to Rocket right here. It's there. There's Palantir and there's NEO, man. I'm on all of these. So if you're trading with me, you're on the right look right now. NEO up to 45. Let's just wait to see if that's going to play out for us or not. NEO through 45. I like that one. And then what was the other one? Oh, Palantir through 55, 25.50 was a good look from yesterday's high. So we'll wait to see on that one. Any kind of dip buys. I'm not going to get crazy here off the open. I've been really amazed at how well some of these dip buys have been. Apple with a big buy here off open. Not big, 160,000. We just don't normally see Apple here. If you add the monetary value, that's pretty big. And then SNDL on buy as well. And Afria, we're going to look at that through 21. But there's going to be an exciting day today.
Yeah, and there was, trust me when I tell you guys, there was a big buyer there on the other side of UWMC when that 12 even broke. Someone plopped in a bid there for a couple of 100,000 shares. So it is finding a little bit of support here, but it is testing that previous pre-market high. That 1160 level has been tested once. If this takes out the top of 1250, I think it's got momentum play written all over it. I'm going to definitely have that. I don't like taking breakdowns pre-market. So Fubo's going to break that 38. Had that happened like a couple of minutes from now, I probably would have that trade, but watching Fubo off the open in addition to UWMC. And of course, we're looking at Rocket, and we got to drop that bell. It is that time. Miss V is on the bell. Let's drop it down for, and the countdown's not working, so I'll give it to you. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Ring it, Miss V.
All right, we are now open, so let's wait to see as Rocket's going to open up. Remember, we do have some downside bids here as well as some offers to go through if it does break through 35. So we are going to get very nervous about Rocket. We do like a break, obviously, through 38, through 37.50 as well. So Rocket's going to be in play here. Again, there it goes. So we buy through 37. Wow, okay, this is very, very choppy right now.
Yeah, that's
it
ugly.
does open up there. It ticked up to about 38. So let's see what happens now. Rocket, let's see if we can moon on this.
Yeah, I mean, I got triggered I had 37 and 75, so I get 81s as a long price. And it even gives you a dip back into 37 on that little move. I'm also watching that UWMC, which right at the open, it literally froze on me for a split second and now headed back towards that little downside. Rocket is still going. I'm going to look at here. Look at this consolidation level. It's 38, like 40. I take a little bit of profit out in front of it and then maybe go long on another break if it goes through.
Yeah, and adios, guys. Your boy has done this again. It's hot dog cannon time. There we go, guys. This is exactly what we talked about. Buy out there, 38.50. Some shares. Now we'll hold a little bit, man. I mean, this is going to be a big trade for us. Let's just see what does happen. Whether or not this wants to go up or down. We've got a nice little trade on right here on Rocket. So we've already taken out the profit. No losers today. Let's just see if we can't hold this a little bit, man. Targets for me on Rocket? Like the moon, basically. I mean, honestly, like, I hate to say that, but like we could take out this 39 no problem and then head to 40, and then the next up after that is 48. So let's just see what happens through there. But Rocket right now, man, making a winner of your boy once again. Spin it, guys. If you're with me, this is a good trade.
Just got the break as well of 38.50. So I've been adding. I just added to the position there and just got some out in front of that 39. Going to hold through a 39 break on Rocket, but OVIP flushes. We're continuing downside. Got some 50s down there as it just broke. So that add at 480 looks like a good one, but Rocket is off to the races. And I told you guys that UWMC, this actually coming back in and retesting that pre-market high. If Rocket's running, I'm going to try it only in front of 1160. If it breaks, I'll give it like 10 pennies or so because it's $11 stock. If it breaks 1150, I'm out of this and holding Rocket instead.
Yeah, and I told you guys, one good trade is all you really need, and then that is going to be Rocket, man. Look at these outs, man, 39.20, hello. Okay, but we are long now on NEO, so let's see if we can't get a little bit of profit on this one as well. We take that 45, we get some out at 08 there. Now let's see if it can take it to the high side. Remember, the market was ripping off the open a little bit here, so generally speaking, this could be a little bit of a dangerous plan, taking something so early, but if NEO wants to go, then you might as well get in early if you can on this one. So that's NEO. Got to give this one at least back to 44, maybe even 44 even if we're going to let this one go upside. So here goes NEO rocking and rolling again, guys. And Rocket still upside right now as well. So everything kosher over here.
Yeah, and Rocket, I'm going to take it more off in front of that 39 if it gets there, but watch out. UWMC is going the other direction, so I'm not going to let it get past that 1150. It's not a squeeze play, guys. It's just it's a sympathy play. It's another name that it's worth watching here. It was a lift that I wanted to go to very quickly here because it was positive news. And again, it tried to break through that 60, slams right back in. I'd much prefer to be buying that one on a dip to 58.50. Now that the market's open, lifts can actually be something worth watching. And bye-bye Fubo, and that's down at 37 already.
Yeah, Fubo, good trade there. But this is not a great trade. This is NEO heading to the back to the downside. But we got to, like I said, we got to give this one a little bit of room. Rocket pulling back, man, good out there, 39 and change. Like I said, we got to give this one a little bit of room, like we have. But we've destroyed this stock today, so good trading, not destroying at all here on NEO as that decides to come back down. We got out a little bit when it showed some weakness, but we still are in this, and it's coming right back to the downside now, NEO. So watch out here with a 44 break. Might be something about that, guys. What's up, Bren?
All right, another recent mover, guys. Beyond Meat just popping up here on volume right off the bat. 137 through to 139.5. Bit of a pullback here, but early volume on Beyond Meat.
Oh, wow, Fubo. If Fubo actually went to 35.50, I'm going to be kicking myself. It's literally that I don't want that type of stock on a break pre-market. It breaks 38 with seconds to go before the open. Maybe it was like a minute, not second.
Rocket might.
Either way, Rocket's about to halt to the downside.
I don't know. It looks like it may just do that.
I think it's halting downside here. I'm gonna cover some because 36.35 is support level, so I want to have something just on the off chance.
There it is.
But there we go. Yeah, it just halted. I want to make sure I lighten the load. Should have gone to level 2 for you guys. Apologies. So I'm staring at the level 2, and I know I was just looking at Fubo to get the next trade in there. But I just added to Rocket on the way back in, and then was like, okay, well this is the support level down here. What I'm gonna do is you can still market or limit on open orders. Right, so what I want to have happen here is if it opens below 35, you definitely want to be out. So I'm going to go with a market order. But if it opens up, I'm just going to get out and I'm going to try and get back in because I don't want this thing opening lower than my support price and I'm not out of the trade. So you're backed into a corner in terms of how you want to do it. Now, as a day trader, of course, we can be active and in and out. I can certainly take that sort of a path, but otherwise, you might be thinking that's your support hold through on the reopen. I just don't want this thing opening below 35 on me, which I'm not sure it will, but I have to be cautionary with it. We have 5 minutes to decide. Brendo?
Affirm, guys. 2 days in a row. We talked about it yesterday. AFRM. If I scroll back here, you can see very strong right off the bat yesterday. Just popping up on volume as well. Back above 91 for AFRM.
Okay, so we did average in a little bit here into our NEO. I mean, obviously, as the market tests that 13,000 again, NEO tests downside. So we're in this. Our average price right now, 85. So with Rocket being halted, this is what it looks like on the screen. So not much to talk about right now. But right now, it is about NEO for me. If it breaks back below 40. Below 44, we will get out. So we'll take an 85-cent hit if it does break down below, which is fine. I mean, like I talked about it, man. I've sort of done some research, and I don't really like it when these stocks break early. And I wanted that 45. It's not a huge position, which is why it allowed us to average in. But I'd rather wait for these things to build bottoms and then go in. So my mistake on this one with NEO, we did take it a little bit too early, and now we're paying the price because we can't control these futures, man. If they're going to keep wanting to come down, then yeah, a stock like NEO is going to get hit. And here we go. So my order's already in. I don't even need to use these hands. It will automatically trigger it, hopefully, downside through 44. So this is going to be a little bit of a loser. 85 cents here on a break. Through 44, we get out of NEO, guys. What's up, Brendo?
Monster volume, guys, on Fubo TV as well at the open there. Big volume to the downside. It's trying to hold here around 36.75 for Fubo, guys.
How did he know? Brendan, I literally just got into this. I watched it test back up towards, and it was a 38 break that we liked. And look, you're going to miss it if you have certain rules. One of them didn't want the breakdown trade off the open. It just tested and failed lower at 37.50. So I did start this one a little further away from that price, but I started a short at 47.13 in front of 47.50 yesterday in NEO, and I never got a better price than that. So I'll do the same thing here. If it does give me a chance to pick up something a little bit better, closer to that, it's actually 37.60. I'll go ahead and do that. So we do have Fubo still in Ovid, which is fantastic to the short side, and then waiting for that reopen on Rocket. It should be in a couple of minutes here. Brendo?
I don't see anything initially here, guys, but big move for Boeing off the bat, 225 to 229. Coming back up to this high here, 230, big level for Boeing.
Yeah, so I've already recommended Boeing as pretty much my number one reopen play if you want to be a little more conservative. I mean, Boeing's that play. I'm long 212. You guys know that, so a nice little move to the upside there. We'll take DraftKings. So we just punch into DraftKings, like I said, waiting for stuff to happen on a better strategy than getting aggressive and going in on these things. So here we go. We'll wait to see if this can happen, and we're just going to see if it can hold 70. We did have some consolidation here in the pre-market 70, so let's just see if it can hold that. We are going long right now, DraftKings, with an idea of back to 72 in change here. So if it can hold to 70, that's great. And then we'll see about going upside on DraftKings back to 72 and see if we can't turn this day around. Right now, holding on to a loser we're holding on to a rocket loser, but that's okay. We are going to wait to see what NEO does. If it does break through that 44, then we'll be in a little bit in trouble with one trade anyways. But DraftKings right here, average in a bit. That's not DraftKings. We'll average into DraftKings if it does come back down to about 70.50, and then we'll use 70 even as our out. But here it goes. It's working.
Going to give the old football spike, and not for you, JJ Watt. Not going to my Bills. Not happy with that at all. But it is what it is. We get a bounce on Fubo. We're at like 36.30, so I'll take the 80 pennies. I'll hang on to see if we can't retest the 35. I like the weakness in that particular name, but the best one for me is actually going to still be this Ovid. We talked about that little range. Oh, did we just bounce off this little bid here? So I am actually bidding in front of the 425 here to see if we can't get some more shares out. This was a 5 even break, and then we talked about 480 if it breaks the bottom of that range to add to the position. So Ovid currently showing a lot of weakness. UWMC, it really needed to hold. And again, I took one shot at this, trying to hold that pre-market high. You got to have a tight stop here. I'm not digging into this one. I think you can probably see, and there goes Rocket. So I actually took Rocket out on the reopen, and then it immediately holds 35.
Yeah,
so
that's the thing.
Yeah, that's a bit of a pain in the butt here. So again, I want to be long in front of that 35. So you're gonna see me jump into it here, and I got to manage my orders. Did I just get? Yeah, I actually just got 35.76. I might add to it in front of 35 even, and then just put my stop below that price. But it held very, very briefly.
Yeah, I got blown out through that stop as well, and then we reloaded the long. So we'll see. Okay, there it goes again. So yeah, so we're just
get the fill.
Yeah, we're just moving around here on it. So it's not really doing a whole hell of a lot, but it did break that 35 level, which was a danger spot for us. So we talked about that, and now you got to watch out for the ultimate bottom of 30 even, which was, I mentioned that if we did break this 36, it would be a little spicy there. We tried one more time, and then it didn't fail, or failed again. So now we'll wait to see, but 36 long, I'll try it one more time, guys, and use that 33 as a bottom.
Yeah, I mean, the thing about, if you've been following along, I like post-halt trading. If this goes multiple halts to the downside, I'm telling you, the second it bounces off that, it's load up long. The second it takes out a post-halt price. Now, this is 30, I mean, I like 36 is great, but I look at this 36.30 where we actually had the halt, and then this was that little top, and I'll wait for it to take out that price range. But otherwise, if it starts doing multiple halts to the downside, the real play for me is going to be when it bounces, and we've been talking about 30 all morning long. I'm not saying it will be multiple halts and then bounce at 30 even. If that happened to be 31, the first up halt, I'd be all over that. But for now, I'm going to have to wait for 36.30, and UWMC falling as well in sympathy, so no surprise there.
Okay, so DraftKings, though, no surprise here that we have another winner on board, as DraftKings will take it out a couple times here. Bang, bang right there. Nice little win for DraftKings in the money. We just took out 40 cents twice, so in and out there. Now we'll wait. We'll try to hold the rest to 72. That's where I have the next order. So we'll just wait to see if that can hold there through 72. And then basically, our NEO is just trying to survive. We did get some out there at 74 on a move right back up. So we did take out some profit there, but yeah, it just, for some reason, it got going and then it just got hammered right back again. So we have to wait on NEO, and then my average price on Rocket is 35.40. So we're out $1 right now, just holding. I do like going long again through 36, just in case this thing wants to go to the upside again. What's up, Brendo?
A little SPAC action this morning, guys. HZON up 16%, all-time highs for this thing. Jumping on a report of Sport Trader going public. This is a Swiss company that's backed by Michael Jordan and Mark Cuban. So Sport Trader going public through HZON, guys.
Yeah, and Mark Cuban's like a magic name for a lot of people. So look, I'm going to be watching Rocket like an absolute hawk here. But this UWMC might have a I was going to say it has a shot at halting downside, which I'd be looking for, but for some reason it really didn't. I actually thought it had put in that 10% move and was looking to halt. Doesn't seem to be the case. If it does break through 10, you might see that momentum cause the halt. I'm not going to be shorting at these bottoms, not when I think Rocket is trying to make a bit of a base here. So if Rocket avoids a downside halt, I really do think you could get a simultaneous bounce in both of these names as far as they've come down. I can tell you Fubo's back in the money $1, but I'm looking at a 35 bottom on Fubo. I've already sort of scalped out close to that buck, and I'm looking for it to retest that low of the day. And if it bounces off the low, I'll just get out, then maybe re-enter on a pullback or re-enter on a break of the low. But if it breaks it, I want to try to hold through. So 35.50 current low. If it makes any kind of a bounce, I'll try to get out on the south side of 36.
Okay, yeah, we're just watching this Rocket, trying to make sure that we make the right plays here, guys. We like Rocket, but we're not trying to die on this sword. So we are going to wait to see what it wants to do here. But Rocket right now to the upside looks pretty good. I mean, I'm pretty happy with everything here. It's just it is moving around a little bit too much. Not too much. I mean, I think we sort of expected this. I better be careful what I say because I don't want you guys to like panic here. But we are coming back to the downside, 34 and change. So just be very, very careful with this Rocket trade here. I am trying to massage it a bit here. I do want to go long if it does break back down through 36. We haven't averaged in. We're going to take an average in around 31-ish, 32-ish, and just to see if that 30 holds. But right now, Rocket down 20%. No real surprise here, guys, as it is moving to the downside. What's up, Brendan?
Just saw February total sales deliveries for Ford just came out, guys. So a little bit of a negative number there. So downside action here for Ford, 1.3%. I mean, the market new lows as well, guys.
Yeah, market's certainly heading to the downside. I want to make sure we're checking on a couple of other names here for you guys. And I know you guys were mentioning Sundial, and I wanted to make sure I'm not completely ignoring it. But at the same time, this is a very, very tight range. I like playing this 135 level. It's been a good one before. I just don't see a heck of a lot of size down here to give it any kind of support. So if I see something pop up, I'm definitely going to be looking at Sundial. And I was actually thinking about taking that long, but it's just not enough of a bid here to entice me just yet. I did get out of Fubo. We said we would. So in this case, I think I dodged a grenade. So a winning trade is going to be a winning trade. But I did say if it tried to bounce off of this 35 level, and whoops, let's actually don't need that anymore, right? So I don't need that order down there at 34. But it just bounces off that 35.50. I'm able to get out. So it's a nice little retracement trade. You missed the first 38 breakdown, but that's okay because it gives you another shot at the short side trade on Fubo. If it takes out the low, I'll look to get back in that way. 35.50 would be the price.
Okay, so like I said, again, I'm just watching. I did take a little bit more Rocket. Ooh, that's Donkey Kong there. I tried to get some out at 40s. I didn't realize that VWAP was right there at 50. So we were waiting at 75. It only goes to 72. But VWAP was right there at 50. So we did put some orders to get out in the 40s here for DraftKings because, like Brendan just mentioned there, man, the market taking out lows right here. So be very, very careful with everything. And then we did average in a little bit there to Rocket, which worked because it went to 35.20, which was our average price. So I don't know. We're just going to have to wait to see if this one wants to go or not. I'm not sure. It may stop. What's up, Brendo?
There's a PMI number that just came out as well, guys. It was actually better than expected. But yeah, market downside. Dollar Tree was on the list this morning, breaking through 100 as we speak here, guys, to the upside after earnings weren't that great in the pre-market, up 1.4% now for DLTR.
And just having a quick look, and I can't ignore it here, and I think we might be talking about it in a second. OCGN is retesting the price that I got short in the pre-market, and it was right at this like 13.20 rollover. It was in front of this 13.50 area. So if it's going to hold that, I'm going to take my shot to dip into it very soon. If it breaks 13, I'd like to have at least a little bit of a piece because that's definitely going to be a key one for you guys there. If it takes out 13.50, you got to watch out for that high of day. But Rocket is still making a bit of a base, and it's going to be hard for me to ignore. Now, I do have a stop in case it took out that 36.30, but 35 and change is looking like a bit of a break to the upside here. And actually, if 35 quarters, I'm gonna take it to get back in. I did get out on the reopen, then could not hold that 35, but now looks like it wants to at least make an attempt to hold this price. If it breaks back up, I don't want to necessarily wait for 36.30. I'd probably try to scalp a dollar, then get back in after that.
Okay, so there's Neo. It does drop down. So yeah, that one's a little too spicy for us there. We tried it, man. We tried Neo. We got a little bit out, but then once it breaks through that 44, we get that break out of that trade, so we're gone. Our average price right now, 35.20. Some good averages in here, and here we go. Let's just see. This is where it's failed a couple times. You saw back upside 35.20, 35.20, 35.20. So we need to get that going here if we're going to have a winner on anything today. But there it is. Rocket just failed again at that 35.20 level. So yeah, we may have based down here at 34. Let's see if it can hold that. But right now, Rocket to the upside temporarily, although we are still down that 15%. This thing can go, as we know. So no real worries here, but just watch out for it, guys.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like it's trying to break it right now. I'm looking at that quarters for sure. And when it breaks, I'm going to be long through Rocket. And I want it to be a scalp trade into that halt price of 36.30, and then look for a reentry. I did get into that OcuGen just a second ago, guys. So that one is a new position alert for me. But still hang on to it. It looks actually like it's fantastic. This OVID. It's still a good trade, but it's starting to base out. So I'm looking at 445, right down to this like 420 mark. Of course, it's 420. What other price would it be? But either way, if it breaks back to the upside, I've already taken everything I will. All I'm going to wait for is a potential push back up to 5 to get back in that regard. Miss V is at the big screen. What's up?
Hey Neil, I know you just got into OCGN trade, but I had to mention that OcuGen is very popular on the chat. Stock is up 33%. And guys, thank you very much for bringing us great opportunities on the chat. Back to you.
So Rocket just barely broke that 35.25, didn't go. I got in. I immediately got out when it broke that 35. You know what? I'm going to wait for the price I like better, and that's going to be that 36.30 break. It is too whippy, and over trading is going to get me into trouble. I know this is a popular name, and it should be OCGN. Look, they're in the COVID vaccine space, and that's why you're going to get these big bumps. I think the bigger the gap, and when I saw it fall off like this in the pre-market, that's why I let myself to shorting off of this level. I just can't let 1350 break, even if you have cover at 1420. That's like that endlessly averaging in story, which I don't like to get involved in, where you're just shorting 50s, shorting 60s, 70s, all the way up to 1420 without a note. You're getting out at high day and getting yourself destroyed. So I'm using 1350. If it tests at 1420, that would be a separate trade. I got some 92s. I haven't added to it because it didn't quite get close enough. I would have liked to get something in front of those quarters. Beggars can't be choosers, and never got to my price.
Okay, so DraftKings, well played here for me at least. Buying the dips here, 70, 70, 70. We talked about that. So let's get a little bit out as we bring it right back to positive now for us on DraftKings. Long 70, 54. We'll just see, man. I mean, I don't know. Let's see if we get them out at 85 here. There it is, another out. So yeah, so DraftKings should work for us, no problem. Let's just wait. And then look, I just took some out there, 35.40 on our Rocket. I mean, my average price is 20, so 20-cent win there. But yeah, damn it. I just wish we never got out right there on the reopen. I should have. It's so stupid. I had a stop order there. I wish I never canceled it, but whatever. That was lazy by me. I didn't even realize that. So we'll wait for 36 to come through again on this name. And then there goes DraftKings, guys. So Supermaning this one for sure, up to 71, 71.02. Let's get a little more off as we just, yes, sir. Big trade there on DraftKings. So making that money back, guys. We lost it on Neo, but here we go on DraftKings. Let's make that rain at least a little bit for us. $1 now in the money on DraftKings. What's up, Brendo?
SSYS Stratasys, guys, down on an offering. They announced it after market yesterday. It was way more than 10%, but straight higher, $1.50 here for SSYS this morning.
Just finally got a little bit of an add in that OCGN, so it does bounce to the upside a little bit. I wanted to wait patiently. You're wanting it to test this level. And again, if I'm shorting off that level, I don't want to be all in at 13 on a 1350 level, and I'm not giving it to that high of day. It's got to break through, break down at least a VWAP for this to be a successful trade. If it does not, of course, you're going to see me dip out and not be shy about that 1420. You can't see it there. This 14 even and to 1420 pre-market level up there. But 1450 is here right now. Going to get my last entry, and then once we do, I'm looking to see if 1350 is going to break, guys. And if it holds, I'll be happy. If it breaks, I'll be immediately. And it's not about you can't sit there and say, oh man, oh no, I lost on the trade. No, it's what is the next trade. It is going to be at that high of day.
Okay, yeah, so just looking here, we took out some DraftKings. I mean, really, I'm trying to focus on Rocket, but I don't really have any plays because we got some out there, and I want to hold a piece just in case this thing starts to go. So it's really hard. There's not much to do here other than think about averaging in if you did get something downside here, 34-ish, maybe right where we are now, I think is a reasonable spot to maybe get another piece here on Rocket. And then I am waiting for a lot lower if it does go there. We did have that 31 in our vision, but I don't know, man. 34. Let's see if it can hold there. Maybe worth. Let's take another little small piece here at 05 or whatever we just got there. What did we get there? We got 04s. So here we go. So a nice little piece at 04. Let's see if it holds 34. I don't think it's going to. There it goes, breaking back to the downside. So now, I don't know, 32, 33, something like that is not a horrible spot right here. So let's just see what happens for Rocket. We did dip in a little bit there. Average price is fine. We have a 75-cent winner, 80-cent winner now on DraftKings. So that's a good move. But Rocket right now, let's go, buddy. Get back to 35 if you can.
Yeah, there's my out, and I'll puke. I'm glad I got out of Rocket, but there's that break at 13.50. I'm immediately thinking about that pre-market high at OCGN at 14. If it rolls over at that price, it's a re-entry for me. I'm not losing an extra 20 or 30 cents for no reason. I'd rather get in at a better price and save myself the trouble if I like that level as well. Brendo?
As we've seen over the past week or so, guys, banks are back in charge as far as gainers go again today. Goldman Sachs, all-time highs, 2 and almost 3%, I guess it is now. All-time highs for GS today, guys.
Oh man, we've been loving the banks, man. I mean, we're long JP Morgan, like sub-Hundy. You guys know that one. We've been loving the banks for a very, very long time. So that's been a good trade for us. Okay, so now, I mean, again, we could just keep on averaging into Rocket, but I mean, this is just blowing to the downside right now, huge. So you got to be very, very careful with this. We talked about, okay, here it comes. So we did talk about 31s, 31.50, 30s holding out here. This was sort of that get up spot yesterday was 30. I know there's going to be a lot of people looking at 30, so makes me a little bit nervous about that level there. So I don't know, but we will hold on to some piece here and just think that maybe Rocket could get going again. But I mean, look, yesterday was a monster day. That was probably the day to cash out of everything. And today doesn't appear to be. So good thing we got out some yesterday, not all. But I still hold out a little bit of hope for this name. Let's just see if it gets going again. I mean, we'll keep buying. I'm holding it. I'm long 35. And right now it's not working out. But we're having these diamond hands, but they're turning into coal right now. So let's wait to see what does happen to the upside. We're still going to buy that nice TV. So don't worry, my wife. As you're watching, we made a hell of a lot of money on a lot of other names, including Rocket, because we're long at 20 and it's at 33. So we should have cashed out yesterday at 43. What can you do? Hopefully it gets back there, guys.
And other stock making its lows here. I did get back, at least start the position back in on OcuGen. Save myself 15 pennies by waiting for 75s here. But Fubo's about to break the low of the day. If it does take out 35.50, I want that re-entry. Now, I did miss a shot here, just a couple of shots to get closer to that 37.50, 38 re-entry point. I could have actually had something in the 20s. I just didn't want to chase it that far. So maybe a pie in my face if it takes out this low of the day. I'm going to stay away from Rocket unless it breaks back up or gives me that 30 price. But Fubo about to hit any second now, and OCGN off of those highs. There's been basically no trouble in that OVID, but OCGN showing signs of strength. Now you got to think about it from the other direction. If you are bullish in a name like this, one of the things that can happen, and I talk about this every time there's a top end break, is it'll stop shorts out like myself. And then if it immediately sort of breaks through, and it's like 14.05, now 14.20 I like is a psychological level. If it breaks that high, 07 technically, and then cannot get through that 20 to 25 mark very quickly, sometimes it's a very, very good re-entry short. A lot of people will jam back in when it heads southbound at like 13.95 or so. So have that in mind. Now, of course, that's not happening, so I'm in the money now like 30, 40 cents, but you're going to hear me talk about what I'm going to do if it goes wrong as I'm in the money on the trade before it happens, so I know the plan of action. As it goes down, I already knew I was going to take some profit out of 13.35. Second I saw it in level 2, I looked at that level. I was shorting it before. It's definitely going to be where I get some out, so I took 30% out there for a 40 to 50 cent win, whatever it ends up being. Next leg down will be out in front of 13. From there, I look at this consolidation. It was a bit of a chop zone going into 930, right between 1220 and 1250. I think that's a great price to have, no more than like 20% that I'm holding on to. But there is 13 even. So look, we talk about this all the time, and I was literally looking away, showing you guys that level and not getting out at 13. But there's like a 75 to 80 cent win for you. I will go with bursting the bubble because I haven't used that one, and some of these high flyers are, you can call them bubbles or just gap ups. It's strong news for OcuGen, don't get me wrong. 81% efficacy is fantastic, but this is a structured trade I'm going to do every single time we test it. Could I have held on when I was originally shorting in front of 13.50, held it through to 14, averaged all the way up? Would it have worked? Yes. Do I think that's a good plan? No, I think that's actually kind of dumb, because when it doesn't work for you, you're losing an extra 20 cents that you don't have to in that spot. Get out at the first level. You can always get back in if you're an active trader.
Okay, so here comes Rocket. Right back to the downside, guys. We did, well, I mean, you guys all know what's happening with Rocket. We did take some more here on DraftKings, some more long. We'll just see if it breaks back down below 70. If not, then yeah, maybe we retrace back up. So far, buys here, outs there, buys here, outs here. So far, so good on DraftKings, but it will turn into a loser, of course, if it does go all the way back down. Okay, so Rocket. Again, we talked about that, and I tweeted it out early. I said, you guys might not like this about Rocket, but if we break that 36, that we're in trouble. So I sold some shares upside there at 36. So we were able to get out a little bit of trouble there. But on the show so far today, these are the problem areas. We averaged in, we haven't had an opportunity to get back out. So whether or not this thing blows up now, I'm not sure what's going to happen. It looks like it's going to be coming to the downside. We are looking at that 31 even level as possibly somewhere to hold, and then even below that 30 even. Like 30 even's a danger spot because of the fact that, look, we don't know what's going to happen at $30. That could be a psychological level. I don't know about the option expirations and whatnot at 30. If people have $30 puts after yesterday, but anyways, that's going to be one to watch. So here comes Rocket straight down to the downside. So right now, man, flushing down on this equity position is Rocket today. I mean, anybody holding the bag on this one, I'm sort of one of you guys. So let's wait to see what happens here as it even marches lower, guys.
And that's what we're going to go Brendan in a second, but I did get two plan. It's about 40% that I actually have left on looking for that 1240 to 1250 to 1260 area on OCG. And if it bounces back up, never letting it take out the high of the day in that particular situation. And I just want to tip back into Ovid because I'm usually going to be in something which is not threatening me. And what will happen is I'll focus on the stocks that are moving more and I'm holding on to this, and then I'll miss any bounces to the upside. So if it does get to that 40 to 5 range, I do want to be going short again through it. But the next thing it's likely to pop in for me is going to be Rocket when it gets to that 30.
I mean, I can't believe, I'm trying to sit here and buy some 50s and it's just bouncing around. So we have to do okay, here it comes now. We'll get to 50s probably in a minute. Yeah, look, this is going to be a fun one and not the right way. It just keeps on going to the downside. So let's wait to see a shout out to all our boys. Apparently some people watching right now. Shout out to you guys. Hope you're enjoying it. And if you're long Rocket like me, you get the 2 tiers in a bucket. You know the rest of that one. Brendan at the big screen right now, guys. Give it to us if we're ready, guys.
Hi guys, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at North American markets, see where things stand at this point. Pretty choppy so far. A lot of back and forth for most of these markets. The S&P 0.4% downside at this point. We are positive on the Dow, but only just 0.9% for the composite now. The NASDAQ 1 full percent for the NASDAQ 100 in negative territory. Quickly accelerating, in fact, to the downside, although I did note that some of the semiconductors specifically are positive. Russell positive as well, only just. Here in Toronto, the TSX downside as well, 0.6%. If you're joining us down in Brazil, 1.2% for the Bovespa. Lift, something from the watch list to keep in mind, guys. We did get rejected there, 60.5, and then 60 ends up being resistance. We're down to 59. Straight southbound looking weak for Lyft. Let's go over to Tesla. Mentioned as well, there was a UBS positive note. 700 up here is a problem definitely for Tesla. Still in a range, but watch 700 at the top end for Tesla, guys.
Thank you very much. In a couple of positions here, I did start this little move here in Rocket. It tried to turn on. I like to try to catch this when they make a bounce off a level, and it broke 32. And then retook 32 very, very briefly. So I started the position here at 32.18. Look, of course, I'm showing the 15-minute because this is why we like that 30 area. And I can show you on the daily chart. We went over that as well. I think that's another reason to sort of look at that 30. It was a previous sort of a resistance point on the initial move to the upside days after the stock opened up. If it bounces here, fine. It means you don't have a full position low, but it's so far away from that support level that I don't want to be all in at 32. All in is in front of that 30 level. Certainly, that's the way to go. OCGN bouncing back to the top side is why you take profit if you're an active trader. Actually try to get some more out at 60s here. If we roll over and we don't break 14 even, it's not a horrible place to be adding. But remember, the actual pre-market high is like 1407. It's not necessarily all system go till it breaks at 1420 if you're looking for a breakout long. Either way, I will actually take shares off, and I'm not going to wait for VWAP. It's showing all signs of strength. I'll try and take it all off on the way down to 13 this time because you don't want to be looking that gift horse in the mouth, or you get the grenade exploding on you here. And that's what happens if you're going against the grain, which I am in OCGN for now.
Okay, so right now, guys, I mean, I'm really just focusing that OCGN, yeah, great trade there, especially if it goes, if it resists that 1407 break there. But okay, so Rocket right now, I mean, we've gotten a better position, but it's still 33.20 is our position right now, and we have a decent position built up now for this one. So yeah, we've got to breathe sigh of relief here if it goes up, but it doesn't look like that wants to do that. So it does touch 32.50. We almost, I mean, that would have put me out 75 cents if we did take it out. But hey, like we said, man, we got to trade this name. So we'll wait to see. But it's falling back down. It looks like it might be goodbye Rocket. Remember, they did have the double downgrade today came through. We had a monster move yesterday. So we will try to check back here on what some of the short positions are on this still. I don't know what they are, but we still have that special dividend coming through, guys. So don't forget about that. That could be something to look out for, just in case, some sort of a reason, March 9th, for that to come through here. So I don't think it's dead yet. We still have that 30, so we got to wait to see. Those of you that got in yesterday, sometimes if you read it, like on Wall Street Bets, you're reading it a little bit late. This is why I was pissed off yesterday, because my biggest trade was the options that expired last week. I just thought that it would hit after. And look, I mean, earnings were great, so we did take profit on that. There's no doubt about that. We're definitely up on Rocket, and we're up a lot on Rocket. But we need it to go more if we want to make real money. So here we go. Let's just see if it can go. We took some out there at 32.50. It bounced off. Just how many times am I going to see this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. So we did take off 5% there. Now our price is still fine. We'll wait to see 33.15. It needs to go, guys. We could have a monster day here if it does go backside up to here, man. I may even take some more if it does break through 33.60. But we are, trying to hold it a little bit tight here, as we do know that 30 is a breaking point, and we just did make a nice little trade off the bottom here. So let's see if it gets going. Only out of the money now, 60 cents.
Not going to ignore the overall market. The NASDAQ, on their lows here, and I'm going to look at Microsoft, because if we actually get any more frisky to the downside and start breaking through like this 1290 where we're trying to bounce here, watch 230. If it does go, it's all kinds of a defense at that 27 mark. They actually have a conference on right now and a pretty cool product that they're unleashing, their mesh product. I know there was a negative story with the hack, but really if it goes to 27, I want to be catching that bounce. KMPH was another, and watch out. I'm not averaging in on OCGN and in front of 4. If it breaks, I'm 14. I'm just going to get out. If it fails to break through, I want to add to that position, but only on the way back down. KMPH showing some signs of life. It made one bounce, halted, came back to that 18 level, fell back down. After post halts, I kind of like these trades a little better. I think 18 to 18.25 is your new resistance level. And let's go, Rocket. 50 cents in the money is not enough. Brendan?
Man, it's been a rough week for some of these EV makers. NIO, again, today back to the downside. We tested 45 up here off the open, but right back down through 44 there on decent volume. XPEV and Li Auto also heading to the downside, guys.
Okay, so I've been taking some out here on Rocket because, again, like the position I have is big. So we are going to take some out here as it comes back. But now that we're finally getting back into the money now on Rocket, we can now hold. I mean, if this goes, man, this is a definite day changer. Obviously, if it does start to go, but we will take some out here just in case that we gotta take profit a little bit. Not even profit. I mean, it's a loser, but we got to take some out when it does have this kind of a move backside. There it is. I mean, look, I just talked about getting it out, and we just did. So we got out another part there at 76. Out. So 32.58 and 32.76 were the last two outs there, putting us, with the price that we have now. So let's see if this wants to hold. but now it's coming back to the upside. Would love this to take out 33.50. That's kind of the level that we're looking at right now on Rocket, 32.50. Our DraftKings falls down, but again, you know, still a profitable stock. We'll just wait to see if it wants to get going. This market, man, relentless to the downside. Not much haven here as far as stocks go, because if you're looking at Apple, you're down 1% today. If you're looking at my favorite, Mr. Softy, you're down more than 1% today. We could check out Tesla as well.
Tesla's right on the low.
Yeah, Tesla's flat. Down the least, actually. Tesla down the least at 0.1 right now. So Tesla basically flat. And then NIO right now, that was a name that we've died on earlier. Not a big hit for NIO, but again, we did try that 44, 45 break early. I've learned from that mistake. But here we go, down to 43.50. I don't know if this is worth chasing all the way to down here. But here we go, NIO. So let's get up now, guys. Let's see if this bull can kick on Rocket, as it just, damn it, it just tested that 33 area. Let's see if this bull gets going now on Rocket and just make a move, buddy. Let's go above 33 and see if it can hold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking to get some out if it gets to like in front of that 34. I'm still eyeballing that halt price, that 36 halt price. I'm gonna like 36 to 30 halt high. I'm gonna like that one for an ultimate target to the upside, because you can always get back in on this particular name. I just think it's gonna be worth it to the. If it does bounce here and hold through, I think it's worth it at least a couple of dollars for a first out. Brendan, what's up, buddy?
I just saw an alert on this one, guys. 36 on Fubo, just breaking to the upside, so volume coming back in. Speaking of basing, Fubo looking like might have found a bottom here, guys.
Okay, here we go, guys. I mean, I'm just going to be watching one stock. I mean, you guys know that now. I've been on this rocket. Let's just see if it goes. We take out a little bit more ahead of 33. This is how you know I have big shares, when I'm just like taking it out piece by piece here. So let's just wait to see here if it goes. I'm really hoping that this is the play to the upside now. It just bounced again off 33. What was that price? 33.25 or so. Let's just hope that this thing can go right now. And I hate using the word hope, because when you're in that mode, it ain't good. So right here, 50 cents in the money. We making back what we lost. We'll take out another piece, maybe right here at 33.25-ish. If we can, there it is. So we'll take another piece out right there. That's, 60 cents, we'll take it. And let's just let this run now. And now it's an 80-cent winner. We're back on this name, so good hold, good trade. Let's just see if it will work now to the upside.
Yeah, I'll have to update my chart there on the UWMC, because my 15-minute just crashed on me. But this is actually trying to get back above this like 10-10. It just broke 10 even. Absolute monster flush on this one, and we did say, look, it's not a short squeeze, it's sort of a sympathy play. So as Rocket showed weakness, this showed even more weakness, which shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. But if we get back up, let's say to that 35 range, 35 to 36 on Rocket, and you have any chance to maybe pick this one up close to that 10 even area, it gives you a bit of an out there at 10. For now, Rocket is not desperately, but it's trying to hold 33, so the bounce isn't yet on. I wouldn't be taking it till this breaks that 10-10. Gives you good risk to reward, because I think I would probably not be holding through a 10 even break, risk like 10, 15 pennies on it. You can always get back in. It's done 50 million shares, and certainly worthwhile of a trade if you want to be an active trader in that particular name. OVID. It is trying to bounce. Now, I wouldn't be getting back into this if it tested 475 to 480, but the bounces are all to like 450 and no more than that. So I'm not going to chase it, just going to hang on to what we have, and I'm not done with this name. It's been a good one so far, and I want to get back into it, but it's got to be my price and not chasing too far. That's how you get yourself into trouble if you are over trading. That's a big, big, big mistake. And sort of, we talked about Rocket here, but it sort of goes down to risk management, whatever you want to call it. And it happens to be a Rocket trade yesterday, which was a successful one for Sean. But we dropped these videos more to give you guys the idea of the thought process of the trade. Sometimes things happen a little fast, if you might have noticed on the live show. So do check out that on our Market Wisdom page. Sean's awesome Rocket trade from yesterday. It's topical, but you can learn a little bit as to execution and how to manage risk.
Yeah, and you're not learning too much from me today, although it's been okay. And if you're going to learn anything, we just did talk about that. There was some tops here at 33, 33.20. So you saw me take all of these out live as they came back upside. So now no more. I'm not going to take any more out. Let's just wait to see, like we said, back to 35 and change if that can happen. I do want to look at Fubo, as that's been dropping quite a bit now, down to $36, 15%. Brendan, what's up, bud?
I saw a couple of people talking about this one. Michael's, guys, going private. $5 billion deal from Apollo Global Management. $22 per share for for Michael's. Apollo taking them private, guys.
Wasn't Michael's like
the
a
other
dollar?
day? Oh, I'm kicking myself.
Michael's, what a move that's been, guys. Here's Michael's. So, yeah, they're getting bought out at $22. Okay, so nice move, Apollo Group. It was $1 in March. So, yeah, okay. $22 for Michael's, basically paying close to, I don't know what the all-time high is, but that seems pretty close to me. It looks like the all-time high for Michael's $28. So you're getting a deal, Apollo. I would short Apollo. I don't know if Michael's is going to be back or not. Oh, now this chart froze. So, well, there it is. We're back. $22, Apollo. Thanks for bringing that to our attention there. If you are a Michael's shareholder, congratulations. $22 and 22% today.
And it's always interesting when you see these things, cash deals trade above the price. What to look for there, and you got to do your diligence. Check to make sure there isn't a dividend payable or any kind of special dividend attached to it. Otherwise, the stock is very, very unlikely to move. It's not the first time that you'll be see some bets made that there could be a higher bid or whatever it might be. I think it's just one of those, I guess, low risk types of bets, because you go long at 22, 07, 08, 09, 10, whatever it is. What are you really risking? And the off chance that there is a higher move, which sometimes does happen. It's a cheap price to pay. Come on, Rocket. It's only $1 in the money. I still want in front of that 34. I want about $1.50 on the first out. You might see me in and out of Michael's doing some market making, but that's just about it. I want to bring everyone's attention back over to Lemonade. Not 105, 107.5. It is still heading to the downside. Of course, my chart is... my 15-minute chart, I got to get back for you guys there. But either way, Lemonade has not gotten to that 100 to 105 range where I was talking about. This was likely to flush into this in a couple of days. Let it settle down a little bit here. I know it was a mixed report in terms of earnings. There were some positive signs there. I'd be waiting to pick up this name, and I certainly am, down close to that 100 to 105.
Okay, so $1.30 now in the money here for Rocket, and we'll just keep on watching that one as it goes. So that's that trade. Look, I haven't got myself into too many things here today, and that's on purpose. We've just been watching Rocket going. Another name here, Brendan, you brought us this with Kathy Wood. There again, just buying every single share she possibly can, apparently, of Palantir. So I'm with you. This has been dropping down though, and today it just continues, man. It doesn't matter what she tweets or what we find out about ARK. This just keeps on coming down. And again, big lockup here, for Palantir. Again, an 18-year-old company finally becoming available to many employees to be able to uncork and unleash some value there. So now we're going to the downside. I want to bring this up to you because we are right near. Maybe I can zoom in just. Maybe I can zoom in just a little bit more here. We're near these bottoms again, man. 22, 22.40, something like that. I mean, look at this. Ever since lockup day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 red candles, including today, but that could change. So, and 2 green candles. So if that doesn't tell you sort of where we are right now with Palantir, then that should, because we are negative sentiment right here on Palantir. I feel like this is a great area to load up if you're not in this name. For a day trade though, it just keeps getting worse because the market keeps falling down and Palantir has no problems following that market all the way into hell. So we'll wait to see on that one. I think this is worth picking up now, and then even more so if we're down to 22 and change. I think that's a great spot, but we are below this VWAP. I would say if you're gonna get aggressive with it and you're really looking for a break, we need to wait till at least it breaks this 50 period, which is 28 and change for me. But yeah, let's go.
And let's go OCG, and it goes right back to that 13. Now, the only mistake here was, and again, Rocket started moving, and I wanted to get back into it. So I did miss that rollover. I said I'd wait for it to fail at 14.07 pre-market high. Check that. I did not get the rollover, but I still had shares. I want this to test back down to like that 12.50. I'll be all over it if it gets there. Getting out, at least I should say, because once it's below VWAP, you can always work back in if it shows all signs of weakness, which currently it is. Brendo?
A big mover earlier in the week off of earnings apps, guys. Digital Turbine downside as well. Seems like everything is today. This one in the tech group through $90 there. Huge volume came in, 5% for apps.
Okay, we just did take a little bit more off on Rocket there. Okay, let's call this up. The same spot again, man. I mean, if it's just going to keep on bouncing off 33.50, then we have $1.30 in the money now. We're long at 31.70, so we're still long down here. Again, it takes in our average prices based on first come or first in, first out. So it's just one of those things where it gives you an average price. So really, my average price is still like 33.50. I mean, we need this thing to go if I'm going to make any money. So that's what that trade's doing right now. We're just going to sit sit on this and see now. Like we keep talking about it, man, 34, 35 would be pretty sweet if we can get back up there. And I do like this breakthrough 36. If it really gets going, you'll hear me. Don't worry, you'll be here. So watch out for Rocket now trying to go through $36, guys.
Yeah, and as it does bounce, unfortunately, if you're looking at that UWMC, it is not making a move. I actually just got my first out there on Rocket, take like $1.25 out of it, but no move whatsoever through that 10 even, or sorry, that 10.10 on UWMC. I wanted to make sure this level that it tried to bounce at the first time at like 940 or so, it tried to get again. I need it above that price before I even think about going long here. But if Rocket's going to take out 34, 35, and it still gives you a shot at 10 to 10.10, that's when I would jump into UWMC. Otherwise, I don't think it's going to be worth it. Another name that we talked about here, and you're watching the NASDAQ fall, so you start thinking about what do you want to pick up here. Just watch out Square heading southbound, and there you go, my daily chart. Thank you very much. 236, here's that little 50-period moving average. I want to go to the 15 minutes so you can see this consolidation on Square, 238. So above that 236 mark, you get this 238 a couple of sessions ago. It was both sort of a flush at the open and then held that price in the afternoon on a retracement. So if Square can try to catch a bounce here, the market is flushing right now. Square would be a nice pickup if it can bounce off 238, like the level on the daily chart and the 15. But it has to slow down first. I'm not going to just jump in front of the sword. If it turns, I'd catch it on the way back up with 38 as support. Brendan?
Another one just popping through, it looks like day highs here, $11 for YGMZ. This is a little Chinese logistics company. They did a deal today with Huawei. So big name, big deal for this tiny little company trying to get through 11, guys.
Okay, guys, there we go. Yeah, you're welcome, Aaron Wells there. Thank you so much for the kind words. I mean, I know it's been a little bit of a rough ride today, but we did talk about this on Monday. I've been talking about Rocket for months, so that's why I'm not as stressed out right now. I'm just more stressed. And again, shout out to our boy Jay, but the word that I can never, ever seem to get rid of is regret. I just regret not selling everything yesterday at 40. I think we could get back there. I don't think there's any problem with that, but thank you for that shout out right there. And if you're long at these kind of prices, $23.50, like when I was talking about it, then congratulations to you on Rocket, and we'll just keep on going, man. Rocket is resting around 33 before taking off. I do believe that. So, but with that being said, diamond hands not many around here. As look, remember I told you like we loaded up. So we did, and bang, 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 bang. Obviously, I wish I still held them all until this spot, but we still have about half on right now. So Rocket right now a $2 winner, and now we're time to go. So let's go, Rocket. Let's see how far this wants to go. We've got the big shares on right now, so hopefully this can keep going up. I like 36. I mean, they're not as big as they were, the shares, but let's just see what happens now. Even back to VWAP, I think is a good spot to get out. 34.50. We'll put another order there and see if we can get some love through 34.50, guys.
And I will go with riding the bear. Yes, we're up 31% on OCGN, but we talked about that level at the top. No need to hold through the high of the day. When I shorted in front of 50, I just got out. Re-entered the trade here at 80, right up at like 80s. My last entry point was actually 90, so fantastic a price there. But it's all done. I said if it got back to that 1250 and tried any bounce, I would get out. I think if it consolidates lower, I can always get back into this trade. If it's going to continue the flush back to pre-market lows at 1150, a consolidation off of 13 still gives me plenty of opportunity to be involved in OCGN throughout the rest of the day. There's 34 on Rocket. Remember, 36.30, that whole price I like. So I'll be out in front of that. I'll be looking to get like a 10% move. But for now, let's go to Brennan at the big screen for the small cap recap.
Hey guys, yeah, let's talk about a couple of names that we were looking at. Small cap world this morning. OVID, Neil was mentioning this one a couple of times. I'll give you my take on it. 550 to 575, clear resistance in the pre-market. The move happened right before the open. If you weren't involved in that, there's been absolutely nothing. It's just bouncing along. $4 for OVID. I'll show you not OVID again. I want to show you KMPH. Yeah, looks like I didn't set that up. KMPH was the other one. Still in a bit of a range, but trying to work back to the downside. Very thin on that one, but did give you a really quick opportunity. Both directions off of the open. Had to be quick on the short and then long back to the top end of the range as well on KMPH, guys.
All right. So just as an update there, 34.10 out, another piece there on Rocket, up to 34.10. Look, we have a $2.50 winner right now. So we will take a little bit more out. And we are not even close to being done on Rocket today, guys. Over 40 trades, over 40 executions. We still are waiting now. I'm not even waiting at VWAP anymore. Now I'm going to wait up here at 35 even to see if we can't take another piece out up there. So yeah, it's been a big, big turnaround. So really happy that we're able to load up down here. Ding, 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 ding. Unfortunately, what really screwed us up was me not canceling that order there. But it's kind of good that we did because we got out and we didn't have to absorb it all the way to the downside. But that was the halt really messed us up because that brought us to the downside and that created some of these waves now making moves down, right? So that was a little bit of a problem there. But it's a monster winner on, man, that we have right now. So that's why I'm trying to take it off. I see the P&L and I'm trying to take it off even though I know that we can moon here. So, you know, a big move back. That's 20% off this bot, well, 15% off the bottom. So a good little able to take some off, I think is well worth it right there. So that's another piece out right there, 34.10 on Rocket, guys.
A bit of a double bottom here. Now, I look at that Rocket. If it gets to VWAP again and fails, I might have to take that might have to take that profit. But I still want to give it more room to run. I mean, I'm talking 35, 36. That's been the level for the entire time for me in this long position. But Fisker here, and I can't believe I missed this. It made a double bottom at 25.75. So I'm a little surprised by how far we're pulling back in. I talked about Square and Microsoft a little bit on this dip. Now the market is coming down rather heavily. Fisker, this is yesterday's support levels, very similar to what we're looking at Square, except this is a different type of line in the sand. 25 even here. Yesterday's dip price, sorry, a couple of sessions ago, this is the first dip price, was also a huge level back on the 25th, guys. It had a huge flush when failing at the open at that price of 25. So I like those little double wick actions, so sort of resistance before and then support after that. If we do hold anywhere in the market, 25 is the support level for me on Fisker. But Rocket, look, I just feel like I said, it's not done. And it's a different story. This has clear support. It's not like this is a company going anywhere, guys. It has clear support at some awesome levels, I think. And 30 is one of them. Even below that, 26 is probably pretty good. To my chagrin, I ignored Sundial. It did break that 35. It headed southbound. So yes, had there not been more active stocks worthwhile trading, if it wasn't OCGN, probably would have been Sundial through 135. Anyone that did take it, a great level there and a good break. It gets like 5 or 6 cents, all things relative here in Sundial, though.
Okay, so we actually got into Fisker, so 26.38 right now. We're long into Fisker right now using 26 as a bottom. So let's just see if that can work itself out. Another piece out there on the rebound back up, 33.70 for Rocket. So we're out there as well. And then I did want to address this, man. Anybody giving a super chat? Look, I've been loving Boeing. I've been sort of against the stock father on this one. I've been loving Boeing. It's my #1 play for a reopen. So I just think, I mean, there's better plays. You could see the Carnival Cruise Lines and whatnot, even AMC. I mean, there's lots of plays that I think are better for you on open, but we'll talk about Boeing right now. Like, I'm long 212, so right now we're cruising on Boeing. It's been a nice move. I'll show you where I think is a good spot to get in because that was the question. A nice little move upside. I still think there's monster orders coming from our friends in China there to support the new U.S. government. We did also get some love from United yesterday, buying 25 planes. So look, I mean, I've been pounding the pavement on this one for a while, and we've actually been able to get in. So this is a daily chart here. It's been an amazing run. You could see why we're long at 212. We were actually long in this area right here. But right where it was about at, we might be better than 212. I'll look, but it doesn't matter. It's 209 or 212, it's one of those. But right in here, right when we were breaking this 50 period, maybe I'll zoom in just a little bit more. It was before this drop, so we could have gotten more down here. We were busy doing other things, like buying Rocket and whatnot down here. So that was a great price, 190. I would say, because the question is, where can you reload? Anytime, guys, you take a stock that you like, that is, okay, Fisker, now a nice little 20 cents in the money, I see you. But basically, anytime you're near this 50-period moving average, I think that's a great spot to start to build your idea. So if this comes back down to basically where I'm in, 211, 212, 215, anywhere here, maybe even the bottom, 216, I think is a good spot to build. But if you did like it and you got a little bit of FOMO, you could take it now. We're breaking out, man. 240, I called 240 next stop, so I'm not even getting out. Like, I think this thing goes goes hella long from here. But look at Fisker, guys. Yeah, we're on this one. The Bulls be kicking now on Fisker, so let's get some out. Can we get some 79s? Yes, we can. There it is, another banger for your boy here on Fisker. So we're doing that one today. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. There hasn't been many of them today for me because I've been looking at Rocket, but here we go again. So Fisker to the upside, a nice little 50 cents right there. No, 50 cents, 40 cents on Fisker. Now we'll see if it gets back to the high side. I don't know. We just took out a third there.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to go money, money, money. I like that Fisker. I looked at it in the chart, but the one I saw first and came to my mind first was Square off of that 36. Now, when you look at these levels, the stock's like gone from 258 down to 236. You got to think about an area. That's why I let it travel through 236, and you'll see me do this all the time. When it breaks back upside, when it's northbound and starts to break out, and I don't get it till 237.29, but that's fine. You now have that 35 to 36 area is your cover. It goes into this bunch area on the way down. So 238 to 240 was a little bit of chop. So I'm always going to take profit out in that chop for $1.50. Now you're playing with house money. It gets back to close to VWAP, and you got like a $4 or $5 winner here on Square, and that's just to see if the market can break back to the upside. The NASDAQ still creeping around those lows. But if we sniff 13,000, you know you're getting back to like a 242 on Square. So I like that one first. That's why we're into it. Still going to be watching. I'm still holding that Rocket, and have to start watching a little more closely. I'm not going to let it break 32, which is around where my entry price is, because if you're going to dig in at 30, it's the same thing with the Ocugen short. I mean, you might as well have it as close to that price as possible. One bounce in front of that level, great. If it wants to break that low, much like even Square, like if it broke the low, I would just get out and then look for another re-entry point. No need to just sit there and hold all the way through. And I definitely won't do that on Square. I think Rocket's going to give you, if it does break down, it's going to give you a shot at that 30. If.
Okay, yeah, so we looked at Tesla when we talked about that being weak, stronger than the market, and when the market rebounds back up, I would expect Tesla to go, but look what happened here. It went downside, so the market now pulling back in quite a bit here. Not quite a bit, but we've already broken that 13,000. I thought maybe there was going to be a march back. We do have a new position alert here. It's Palantir. We took it at 20, what were you long? 22 there. And if it breaks below 24, we're going to be out. This is just a quick little 25-cent win, loss right now if it comes back to the downside. So watch out here, breaking back down below 24. We did take Palantir long, just thinking that this rebound, could have held. It does not hold. You can see the futures. Basically, look at the NASDAQ here. You guys can see this, basing out and then taking off a little bit. And then the same thing happened here in Palantir, basing out and then taking off. So we just thought if this extended, then yeah, we'll put on some shares and watch Palantir at least go back to VWAP there. I thought the risk reward was there. I still do, but we will get out if it does break through 24. Again, we can't control the market. I just thought that was well worth the risk there. We did get out some more Fisker, so that was another win for us there. Let's see if this can retrace all the way to the backside. But again, holding on to longs when the market's doing this is not a wise decision. Are we ready for Valeria? I see her fixing her hair there. I don't know. Brendan or Valeria, let's go.
All right, guys, mid-cap biotech on earnings to the downside now, but this one, MRVI on the NASDAQ, was significantly higher. You can see earnings after market yesterday were better than expected. 40 to 38, bit of a range here for Maravai, again, biotech company that reported. It's 10:30. That means there's an hour left in the session over in Europe. Miss V is ready and watching what's going on over there. What's up, V?
Hey, Brandon, European markets gave up early gains and turned to negative territory mostly. All eyes on the UK's new budget. British Airways parent IAG is up almost 5% on the expectations of further business support in the UK budget. Back to you.
Yeah, we saw Boeing, obviously, but some of the other airlines showing a little bit of strength. And, that reopened trade again, guys. Some travel names moving today.
And guys, on the move again is that OVID. It broke out of that 450, so I get out of that my shorts were at 40 and 5 even. But I'm going to get out of them here if it's going to make another ramp. I still like that $5 price, so if it marches into there, I'll be all over it. I don't want it halting into that move because this all started at 436. If in like a couple of minutes you're talking about a 10-15% move, you can get that halt, and I don't want to short into a halt on something that's made a base like this. It is good news on OVID, and that's one of the things you're going against the grain. It was a great short, but have to see if this does continue to 5. I want my price and nothing worse than like a $4.80 to $5 entry. I'm going to go back over to Square here for you. It does pull back in a little bit. trying to hold. It's still holding this 237 area. That's where we got in. Now 236, of course, is that first layer of cover that I liked. So it bounces back above that price. If it goes below 36, I'll get out and look to find a better entry point or re-entry point to try to bottom pick, because the market turns on a dime. The ES couldn't break 38.50 and the NQ as well, heading southbound. So it might not be the actual bottom. If it holds that 36 level I liked on the daily chart, also looking at my 15-minute, then fine, fair enough. We've got the low, but if it wants to head lower, I'm not going to sit there holding square forever, guys. Rocket's a different story because it's moving to the beat of its own drum, though.
Yeah, exactly. Look, we were cashing some out, so we'll wait to see. Palantir, I still like that. It's holding up relatively well at 24. Doesn't mean it can't crash right back down though, guys. So let's be very, very careful with Palantir here. Our stop order is sub 24, so if that breaks, we will get out. But it's holding up relatively well considering this kind of damage that just happened there in the NASDAQ. Gave back everything of that move to the upside. So it's holding up kind of well, but I don't know. If it breaks this bottom, then I don't see how Palantir holds. So we're going to get out of that if it does go back down. A great little spot maybe to get some more shares here on Palantir, but then we're playing that game where I'm trying to guess what this wants to do, the ES or the NASDAQ. So that's a dangerous one right there, as it looks like it just wants to keep coming down, man. Now down 2%. So here comes Palantir breaking through 24. We're not going to, like I said, we're not going to die on any swords today. So big move today in the market. We want to make sure that we have the right names. We still have Rocket. This is $1.50 in the money still for me. So, you know, it's chilling out, but it is making moves back down. So we got to watch out for that. I still have faith, man. Let's try it. Let's just, let's try to hold out for 34.50. If that can come, that's a great break. And then we have upside 35.50, and then the ultimate trade here. Look, Rocket's. It's easy to say, like, Rocket's not going to do anything until we break above 36. That's obvious. But I think that if we do get that break, then it is a possibility to go right back to 40 almost instantly. So let's hold out to see if that not instantly, but, the move will be there. So let's wait to see if we can get 36. I do like another little piece of a long through 34.50, though.
And there's the bounce. I mean, come on. If the ES can actually break that level, you know what? Let's actually show you a chart when we're talking about it here. If the ES can try to break through that 38.50, hold above that price, I'll like it. There was a little break there, and that was an interesting price a couple of sessions ago. So you got to watch that. And of course, the NASDAQ already on the march to the upside. So this is kind of what I'm geared up for. See if Square can't get to that 240 to 242 range as a bit of a target. I've already taken a little bit off here. Now, you do look at, you look at this level here, that 236 that we talked about, and then I look at that same day where it was prominent, and this was just the high. It was at 242. So I always want to have that type of thing in mind. It's not just that we had some chop on the way down here. I'm always looking at, we always try to look at multiple time frames, and when I can confirm that, hey, that was a bit of a wedge or a range bound level on a higher time frame, and it also was a bit range bound before breaking down here at 242. That's the reason for that target. You're not just making it up. I like to play off that. It also happens to be a good risk to reward at like a 4 or 5 to 1, depending on where you have your risk level and what the slippage might be. I think it'll be closer to that 4 to 1 personally, but a good little trade there. And I do want to check back in because I had mentioned this stock a few times. Someone said eliminated in my range. Not really. I said 100 to 105. It's still, look, it still might not be making this bottom. It's at 106. The market's on those lows. You don't want to be too overly zealous with this stock because right now, 30 cents is about as good a spread as you'll see in this name. It's not always the most liquid, especially on those down days. So I wouldn't chase it. I think it can come down to me at 100 to 105, and that's the target range. I'm not moving it just because I'm getting antsy.
Okay, yeah. So, like, as if Palantir did this, man. It breaks down through 24, and we get out, and then it rips right again to 18, 19s again on the upside. So, like, if that's not bad luck, like, I don't really know what is there. It basically ticks that and then rips back up to 20, putting us flat. So we did take that 20-cent loser there, but now we're back in it right here. So we're back in it at 16. So basically, we just take a 20-cent hit, but we do have the shares again. So we're going to wait to see what Palantir wants to do here on the downside as it keeps on coming down. So now we've got to give it a little bit more room just in case that wicks us out again. We don't want that to happen. So we're going to take a little bit more shares here on the upside of that. Okay, I got out of a very, very small piece here when Rocket did make that move back upside there, back to 33, 34. You're seeing Neil hold it. We're trading with different share sizes on this particular stock. So I'm getting out like a lot right here, trying to make back what this was. These were beautiful bottom picks here when we talked about 36. Bang, 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 bang. Out, like, look at these outs, 39. Like, these are $3 winners, man, on the upside. So that was okay. What really messed us up was this halt. But here we go. Let's keep going to the upside right now, man. Breakthrough 34.50 could be something. What's up, Brandon?
There was some chatter yesterday, guys, on Fox. You can look at Fox or Fox A. You can see we had a big move to the upside yesterday. They were talking about the possibility of them breaking up some of their entities and taking them private. Comments this morning essentially saying that's not going to happen. So Fox up 4%. You can have a look at Fox A as well, guys.
I'm just getting my stop order ready to go through 35. I said if it got to VWAP again, and apologies, I had an order out already, so it's going to actually code as a short. It was me covering my long at the bottom here on Rocket in front of that 34.50. If I like 35 as a break, I'm just going to get flat. It's a separate trade here, taking a breakout at 35, which I said, and like I liked it before when I took this break and immediately got out flat. I want it right into that previous halt price at 36.30, which I think is going to be another breakout trade that I'm going to have to the long side. So I have a couple of ways that I want to go long again here in Rocket. Well, 3 actually. If it dips down, I'll try to buy a dip as well around that 31 in front of 30. Same thing, 35 long into 36, 36.30 breakout long will be the next plays I have here over on Rocket, and still holding on to that square. It's only 70 cents in the money. Can't seem to get its legs going because 38.50 holding like an absolute champion on the ES.
Okay, let's just keep watching Rocket here, guys. We did take another little piece there at 34.35 just to try to beat this run up. I mean, if we're wrong, we're going to be wrong on this name, and we've already been wrong today. So that's why we're holding some of these bottoms. You can see now a $2 winner, and let's just keep going on Rocket here, man. 34.35. Let's see if we can't start walking on some water here. So 34 and change. Would love to see this get going back to the upside. I don't know if it has the juice. It had the double downgrade today. It is a big move off the bottom. We're up now 10% off that bottom price. So even more if we get to the levels that we want. So can it go? Yes, it can. Can it go back to here? That's the hope. But right now it's struggling with this volume weighted average price, which is 34.50. If it can get by that, we do have some clumped up areas. And then we have the halt price of 36.50, and then the reopen there basically at 36. Not basically, that is where it reopened. So watch out here, man. We could trade back into 33 even. So yeah, maybe a little bit of FOMO for some of us trying to make sure we got this. But we're still $1.50 in the money. And here goes Palantir finally up to 20, 25, 24s. We'll take a little bit more out there on the upside. So Palantir, nice little drop off there. Thanks a lot for that. But we get back in and we take that 10 cents back. So that was a 20-cent hit. Now we take 10 cents and now we're going to hold to see if we can't get going here off of this little break. Come on, futures. You need to get above this 1280. This is the NASDAQ, guys. Brendan.
Hey guys, yeah, quick look at the overall market. Here we go. Let's check out some sectors, see what's moving today. I want to focus your attention here first. Healthcare stocks among the leaders to the downside. So adding a lot of the pressure that we're seeing on the overall market, along with utility stocks as well in negative territory. There's a few here in the consumer discretionary group also adding to this sell-off. Etsy's down 10% today. Big move for Etsy. Ross stores as well, 4%. They reported earnings. eBay in negative territory. There's Lowe's as well, TJX, all here. So a lot of the retailers back to the downside. Dollar Tree, we mentioned, better than expected earnings, higher. Travel names are higher as well. NCLH, CCL, RCL, all to the upside. Some of the hotels also having a nice day, about 1% across the board for the hotels. So this, it's kind of offsetting itself. So not really doing anything overall for the consumer discretionary group. It is just slightly in the red. Tech stocks once again. So Monday we had the big bounce. 2 days in a row now, we're seeing tech stocks back to the downside. You can see the entire group outside of STX and WDC basically in negative territory. So you can look at hardware equipment makers, semiconductors, and also the software names all to the downside. Financials, though, helping to offset. I mentioned Goldman Sachs all-time highs today. The entire bank group here in the financials in positive territory in a big way. Energy stocks also significantly higher, helping to offset. Utilities, I mentioned, communication stocks, there's Fox and Fox A there in positive territory. Just on Netflix there as well, 4% downside, guys. Overall, Exactly 0.5% in negative territory for the S&P. Back to you.
Okay. Yeah, 0.5%. Yeah. Okay. So we're trying to get back going here. Palantir here, still working out. We have the long 15s, and it's just been resisting through this quarter. So we did take a little bit off, but we're still hella long, man. We're talked about getting out maybe 20% there. We still think this can retrace back, especially if the futures go. But as you can see, the futures are not wanting to go right now. So we'll take a little bit more out here at 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, maybe it does go here. So a nice little win for us on Palantir as it continues to go to the upside. We did hold out on Rocket. I know that's what you guys want. So here comes Rocket right now, 33.40 to the downside, possibly taking out some 34 evens again. If that can happen, let's just wait to see what does happen here. Our average price is well in the money, man. We're $2 now in the money. Well, $1.20. We were $2 upside. Now we'll wait to see if it does take this 34 out again. I think that could be the juice to get it going. And then Fisker, yeah, Fisker's doing good, right near VWAP again. We'll put another order out here, maybe 75 or so. See if we can get out, because that's twice, basically 3 times. Like, we're in here, it drops, it comes up to VWAP, gets out, we take out a little piece there halfway back, and then it comes right back up, and I didn't even realize that. I was too busy watching Palantir and Rocket. So let's put another order here so we don't get missed if Fisker does come back to the upside, which it looks like it's trying to do.
Yeah, $1.50 still in the money in that square. Went like $2, but like I said, I want like 4, maybe 5 at the absolute most on that one in front of VWAP. Rocket actually making a higher low here, and I'm looking at like 32.50 to 33. If it dips anywhere close to that, I think I'm going to be buying that dip. It's kind of poised to give you the breakout. I still like doing that breakout trade at 35. And remember, if I'm doing a breakout trade, I'm always going to take a bunch out on the initial scalp trade and then see how far it goes. And I also like another break at 36.30. But I'm going to lock in. If we can get back down to like the low 33 range, I'm going to pick up some more shares with a tighter stop. If it breaks 32.50, I'd be out. And then looking for a bottom here at 30, that same 30 area. I would definitely take longs before it got to 30. In that type of a move, I'm not waiting for the perfect price. If you do, I just feel like you're going to get missed altogether. So I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit to get back in. On Rocket, if it dips down to 33, go! Ovid actually faked me out here, guys. So it did make a move to 480. I actually had to go to the bathroom. It went to 480, 475. I wanted 480 to 5 even. Beggars can't be choosers, like I say. If it goes again to 5, I'll get back into the short. If this stock can break 420, it looks like it's got another couple legs to the downside. But that was an on-volume push. So I'll always walk away from them on those, just in case it's about to go parabolic. You don't want to get caught short.
Because I'm just going to hit this one. Maybe we can get Rocket to go. We'll hit this hilarious. Give me that. There it is. The sausage goes flying there. So we'll wait to see, man. That's a nice little move there. Let's see. Maybe that worked. We hit that downside. So let's see if that can go now. It's having a problem at $34 Rocket. But, I mean, look where we're long, guys. 32.40. So it's a nice little $1.50 now in the money, as, again, having some problems here. So let's take off a little piece if we can again at 95. There it is. We'll take a little bit off there, but we're still waiting for this move. Just how many times is it going to come up here and reject again? So take off another little piece there. But look, pretty soon my price is going to be bad. It's a good one for now. Now I'm going to hold, man. Now that's it. We are going to hold the rest. I don't have any offers out again on this name until at least 35. So we'll see if it can get going there. And then we are looking at this ultimate target of 36. A check back on Palantir, though, 24.16. So out. We realized that there was a top there. Again, basically the bottom of this mess right here is a good target for me. So that's 24.30. And if we got a 24.30 target, then there's nothing wrong with getting long right now. So 24.16 is our average price. And we do have some bids on the downside. More bids on the downside here, guys.
Yeah, see, I mean, I know OCGN's still moving, and some of you guys are asking about it. For me, like, I talked about why I liked getting out that chop zone, that 1250 to 1240, 1260 area. I mean, I get out in the middle of it, right in front of 50s. But it's held. So it hasn't broken the low. It hasn't broken away from VWAP here at 1325. And I try to avoid getting too active in a range like this. Now, you could sit in a short or a long and allow it to, hopefully break out in your favor. In case of long, you're probably covering some in front of the high of the day. But at this point, either test the high of the day or I don't do anything with it. And if it does test that top, it's 1407 is a pre-market high. I think it's probably a jailbreak at 1420 if it gets there. And it really has to hold an offer below that 1250 mark, which it has not done. So I'm not going to jump into the short. I'd be averaging in ad nauseum and then just losing money. It has to come back to that 14 for me to get involved with it. Brendo?
This Fubo, guys, really having trouble bouncing as well. Just cannot get back above this 35.80 area, even to 36. So 35 needs to hold, I think, at the bottom end, or this thing could be in trouble. Fubo off of earnings, guys.
Yeah, stock is it's been so weak. And let's not, look, I talked about this earlier. I have 2 shorts in here. One was fantastic. The other one, we take that little paper cut hit. I should have got back in maybe, and I was waiting for like 37 quarter, above 37 where I got at the time before. That's being too picky. I should have taken the VWAP retracement. It's actually showing some signs of breaking through, getting to this 36. But don't forget DraftKings and Dish partner up, take some of the wins out of the sales of Fubo getting into sports betting as well. If you do hold, I mean, the only long I would consider is like you maybe have like a 36 long, give it to like a 35.50, but I'm going to stay on the short side of Fubo unless it's above VWAP. I just feel like I want to be one way in that name until I see some real strength there. Only because it's actually put in some moves here, guys. I don't want to completely ignore the fact that GameStop made a break right off the open. It gave you like a 119, 120. I'll call it a 120 break. Goes to 128. Big failure, of course, when when Rocket was coming back in, so was GameStop. I tend to think the sales are in Rocket today, at least in the afternoon. So I might be looking to fade GameStop off of like a 125 level at some point if it continues to show us some signs of strength and goes towards that opening range top. So I'm looking at that 128, probably like a 125, 126, if it can consolidate there for a bit of a short. But still looking strong. And the fact that I'm not in, I thought if we went sideways on Rocket, there was a 100% chance I was going to get a retest of this level and I'd get back into it. Hasn't happened. So the next trade could be that breakout. And no, that's still not enough, Square. Only $2. I still want 4.
Bang. There it is. Okay, Palantir, guys. Hell yeah. We can fry up some eggs with Palantir here as we're going, guys. What a great dip buy that was. And if you're not following that trade, we did talk about that, defending that 24 even level. So that was definitely a good move for me there. Really happy with the way that one turns out here. That is, of course, Palantir back up. So we will take out some profits there. Good out there, 35. Wow, it actually went up that high. Okay, Palantir, thank you for working out. And then here we go. Again, it tests that 34, man. We keep firing the sausage cannons off, but it doesn't look like it's doing much help here for our friend Rocket. So we're going to wait to see if it can go through, man. Fire those sausage off one more time if we can get it. But right now, Palantir, a nice little 11-cent win. Now, good outs on the upside. Should have took them all out. We got right back to that area. But look what's happening right here, guys. What a surprise. Come on, NASDAQ. If we can get back going here, man, maybe we do have that bottom on Palantir after all. So we'll hold a little bit. We're out of half, so that's a good trade there. And then it looks like Rocket doesn't want to go. And then we're still waiting for Fisker, man. Our offer was at 75 there. So a nice little win for us on Fisker. And I did note, someone mentioned that DraftKings all the way back up. Yeah, now back up above where we bought this thing. So it does go down to 68 and change. Profit-taking time today on DraftKings, as it was high in the pre-market. Wow, 73.35. What a great position that was. And then Rocket still hovering around, guys. We'll still keep watching that. I know that's why you're here. 33.80 and change here for Rocket. So having a problem now. But look, the good thing was it was having a problem with 33.25, right? Bounced a couple times here, bounce. Then when it broke that, the next level was 34.25. And so we're just in that area right now. I'm thinking the next area of concern, 35 and change. And then it's liftoff if we can somehow break that. So far, so good, man, on the trading front here. We just dropped down on NEO earlier. This was a bad trade downside. Should have picked some up down there. Now NEO making a nice base. Okay, maybe this is a good VWAP break right here at 43.80, guys.
And the break is still approaching VWAP. It's now $3 in the money on Square. You know the target I'm looking for. So we're going to get that $4, hopefully. Shy of VWAP. I already pointed out on 2 time frames, both on my short-term 1 minute or 3. It doesn't really matter. And also on the 15-minute chart. We like that level on Square. But you guys know what talks and what else walks. Let's hear about the former at the big screen with Brendan.
It is currency time. Let's have a look at FX. First of all, I threw the US dollar index up here. I wanted to point out this base that we seem to be forming at the bottom end of the chart. This has been a very, very weak run overall for the US dollar, but 90 on this chart, seeming to be a little bit of a bottom. US dollar trying to get back to the upside again today. So a few of these in negative territory. The euro 0.2%, the Canadian dollar was actually red, but trying to go positive once again for the CAD. The British pound as well to the downside today. Japanese yen, Swiss franc, both higher, 0.3%, 0.4%. Turkish lira having quite the day as well, 1 full percent to the upside. Australia, New Zealand, meanwhile, 0.5% downside. Yeah, cryptos are higher. I mentioned yesterday, 48,000 seems to be a bit of a thing. On Bitcoin, we got all the way up to 52,600 and something was the high, but 50,600 now. Still higher on the day, yes, but needs to hold 50,000, I would say. Technically, 8.5% as well for Ethereum leading the way today. Back over to Neil.
Thank you very much, Brendan. And getting very, very close to dipping back down towards this 3250 area. Now it's held, this is Rocket, of course. It's held a couple of times just above that price. I want back in that 33 range. It'll be a tighter stop because I want to see if we can get a better long on Rocket. Now, it's worth noting, and I'm gonna go back to what worked yesterday in Rocket. Actually, let me give you the 1 minute chart because it's gonna be a much better look here. I'll show you what worked yesterday. Right around 10 o'clock, it had this little dip. It tried to test at 11, that same low, and it's not entirely dissimilar, but let's not forget that the biggest trade was that afternoon sort of breakout. And so I try to file these things away for you guys, and it's like, hey, if we can't retest those lows and we actually hold these higher lows and you get a bit of a wedge forming, look out for that secondary push. And 30 was the price that we were watching pre-market, and we pointed out on the daily chart, so that seemed to make some sense to me. It could be 35 here. I'm not probably as confident in that as I would like that 36.30 area, which was that halt reopen top. Either way, remember on that dip in the afternoon. That's what we said in our preparation. This is why when we go over the watch list and we're preparing before 9:30, you look at some of those levels. What was it at that time? Sean saying 36. That was that dip. The big buyer at 35 when it reversed off 42. What two levels are we looking at right now? 35 and 36 for breakout. So if I get this 33 long, I'm getting out in front of 35. I'm getting back in on a 35 break. I'm covering that in front of 36. And I'm getting long on a 36.30 break. And that's why having a plan of action before these things happen is a heck of a lot better than just sort of flying by the seat of your pants, which I don't know if it works for you. Go with it. For now, I'm just looking at that square, which is almost $4 in the money, but almost only counts in horseshoes and grenades, and I'm sure a few other things that I'm forgetting. Now, Occugen is almost at that high of, almost at that high at 1350 where I originally shorted it, but not quite to that day high. That's going to be the big one. Thanks, Nick W, for looking at Square. And again, what will happen on these down days is, and you should already have a few of these on the back of your mind, what are the stocks that I would be looking for if you get a weak market, especially in tech? What are you buying on dips? You've heard me talk about Lemonade. I'm still not looking at it just yet. It's close. I mentioned Microsoft earlier. Square and Fisker. Square was the one I actually liked first. That's why I jumped over to it. And you know, it's not to say that, and I'm going to throw up Peloton here because I'm only throwing up Peloton because of how good this bottom was. But you know, if this was your jam and you actually had a reason to really like this 108, and again, this is all in hindsight. Had I looked at Peloton first, it probably would have been the trade. You go back to December and look at this 108 bottom on the daily chart, and then you say to yourself, okay, if it snaps through, and this is like a 112 area, right? So you get this previous low on last week. You get that 108 on the daily chart. If that's your look when the market hits that bottom, you're long in front of it, maybe like a 110, 109. You get it to that 112 area for the scalp trade. That's exactly where it starts consolidating here. That previous low that I just showed you on the higher time frame. It's very similar. It's basically the same trade as Square. If the Peloton's what you're looking at, then that's how you could structure the trade. Very quickly, have a plan, have a setup that you like that works. Same thing. I mean, I'll go to Peloton, exactly the same trade. I just happen to like Square better. Whatever works for you. There's lots of ways to play these.
So we went and got some water. We got to stay hydrated. You guys know that's Hydration Nation is right in the building as well. There it is. But it's fruit salad time, Valeria. So here we go, guys. I went and I saw that we got nicely catered fruit salad today. Looks like a nice wide variety. It's got at the bottom there some of my favorites there. Grapes. So if you like grapes, go grab some and we'll eat some grapes as we sit here and wait. What was that?
Any left?
There's some left, yeah.
Okay.
Not much, but some left there. Okay, so 43.50, 43.60 here. That's NEO. There was a key level there at 43.75. You know, if that could break, then we'll see what's going on there. While I was gone, obviously, this happened. Damn you. There's Fisker out. Bang on that one. We'll have a look there. As if Palantir just went all the way back down to 24. Like, that's not a reload, then I don't know what the hell is. Taking that profit now on Palantir out. You know, how many times are we going to drop off here? 28s. So we have to get some out there again. And then there it is there. Fisker, fire off the hot dog cannons again for that one. As that goes right back to the upside, we talked about why we like that one down here defending 26. So let's see if Fisker can't go back to day's high here on hopefully a rebound in the NASDAQ, but it doesn't look like it. That's that. And then a check back, dollar in the money right now. A little piece out right there. $1 in the money still on Rocket. But guys, this one needs to get worked. It needs to have something done to it. I think that the run might be in the afternoon. We saw yesterday afternoon that there was obviously this big run that started sort of at 3 o'clock. Where was it? I guess right here, once we broke 37.50, there was a halt there, downside. Then when we kind of broke that halt price, I mean, it really starts here, but then you did get that march right into the close, downside halt again, upside halt, and then we did hold near 40. So this move up is kind of what we're looking for right now, 36 to 41. Remember, man, it's a different beast when you're looking at this second day. Fisker, 33 cents in the money, Palantir, 8 cents in the money, and Rocket still that $1. Give it to us, V.
Hey Sean, ZOM is a very popular stock on the chat today, trading on a high volume. Do you see any opportunities for the ZOM today, guys?
I mean, I usually will be looking, and again, this is very similar to Sundial. It's a stock that I will watch when it's going to be more active. And here's really the problem. The days that I'm looking at ZOM, I was looking at on the 23rd. I was definitely trading in the 24th and 25th. You look at those bigger ranges. When it pops back up, and I'm calling this $2 level. Now, all things set aside, I was looking at on March 1st. I did say, hey, look at this $2 level. Looks fantastic for a long at 01. Then when it got there, I'm like, there's not enough of a bid there for me to scalp that long. And then it was like literally a fantastic trade. So whatever. If it does come back and retest that 2, I'd be looking at 205 now. But otherwise, I mean, a stock like this has to either be making big, strong moves, taking out highs of the day and retesting that 235, that top, which I like so much for a fade in front of it, or give me a shot in front of that 2 even. Playing in the middle, unless you are just actively scalping, fantastic. It's made a good base at 2 even. It's got resistance at 235. Went over this the last time we talked about the stock. So if it gets there and you're already long and looking at 10-15% because you're long at 01s, 02s, 03s, 04s, 05s, I would be taking some profit there. That's a type of stock that this is. If you're holding for a much longer term, that's not necessarily the game that I'd be playing, so can't talk too much to it. I did get some shares there on Rocket in front of this like 32.50 to 33 area. Picked some up at like 33.43. Remember, I'm covering those in front of 35 because I got 35 for a breakout trade.
So guys, remember here at Palantir, we just reloaded just like we said we would, man. I mean, if you're not making money with Palantir today, then you're not going to be doing any of these because there's the backflip is back in the building. So that's a nice little move. Backside there. I mean, look at all these buys. Ding, 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 ding. This reminds me of when we were just buying. I mean, maybe I need to get some more out here. 28, 20. I mean, it's just, damn it. Come on, Palantir. Let's go. Look at this market. Let's go. If we can get that going, that'd be fantastic. Fisker, yeah, trying, man. I see someone said if it could break that VWAP, that'd be good. So, yeah, we're waiting for that to happen as well. And then Rocket, yeah, good, some good longs here, but we're still waiting for that to go. But right now, it looks like Palantir always having problems upside. I don't know what to do with this as it just keeps on trying to go. So we'll take out some more at 27. If we just have to keep reloading, we will do that. But what I was talking about was this. This kind of reminds me of what Palantir looked like there right now. Buy, out, all these. I mean, these are more like dollar outs. So, but Palantir is more like pennies to the outside. So we'll see. But if you look at Palantir right here, look, very, very similar. And we're doing the very, very similar thing here of getting in and out. And this is how I make money anyways on most plays. Like how many, each one of these, 16s, out 29s. We do it again. Then we get lowers, 976s, and then out again, some 20s, some 30s. Like if you add up all this, and that's what it's showing at the bottom, like if you add up all of this, these pennies that are coming out, that's kind of the P&L that you can make when you do scalp. But you do have to have basically transaction-free trading. And if you have that, then you can do this. And we actually get paid to add liquidity. And some gateways we pay, and some gateways we get paid. Okay, Rocket, here we go. Can we go again? Up to 34.50 would be nice. A nice little break there. I think that's worth a long. And then the ultimate long for me, where I'm putting on my biggest position, is a breakthrough 36, guys. So if that can happen, then hell yeah, for some Rocket love, guys.
And we definitely love it. I'm going to give the stamp of approval. Thank you very much, Square. And I showed you guys that Peloton actually on the same setup was better, but it was Square that I was looking at first. I get the $4. That's that chop zone, that 242. It does seem to want to hold it. We're trying to break up in the market. And if we do get a breakout here and we hold above VWAP, there's always going to be, when the market heads back to like positive on the session, there's going to be other opportunities to grab longs in this stock. The structure of this trade took me to that 242. The same way when I was showing you what would work on Peloton was up to that 112 range. So far so good. If we cross 34 on Rocket, just to give you an idea, and I think I said this, I might not have, guys. If we do get back up to shy of VWAP, where I got out last time at 34.30, I'll just take that again if I can get it, and then the rest out in front of that 35, because I still like that 35 break, and then the 36.30 break shortly following it. So we'll always be active in that name because it's done 80 million, almost 80 million shares, and shows no signs of stopping. And don't forget, it was arguably better in the afternoon, so you don't want to ever walk away from trading that. As far as OCGN goes, the patience game is what has to be played here because it has to break out of this range. Unless you are literally scalping a few pennies at a time, and this is not necessarily trading like that type of a stock, in my opinion. I don't want to get caught at one of those breaks. I want to take advantage of one of those breaks. So either breaks to the high, and then I can fade in front of that 1407, or I'm looking to take out that 1250 bottom. Either way, we're now going to Miss V at the big screen for our European update.
Hey guys, European markets are mixed, mostly in a negative territory. From good news, Germany is looking to ease COVID-19 lockdowns. Germany is down 0.05%. France is up 0.05%. And Britain is up 0.54%. HSX, reinsurer UK's company, is down more than 11% after reporting a huge full-year loss. Back to the traders.
Okay, guys, scalp, hold here on Palantir. We're going to tweet this out right now for you guys. So finally going, this is what happens when you wait for a stock and you have patience. And now hopefully we get some explosion moves to the upside here. As you can see, look at this move on Palantir. So we're going to hit the fires off. We're going to tweet this off right now. And look at that. Bang! What a big move there for Palantir. And your boy did it again. So let's see. There it goes, breaking through. We take that Rocket. Let's go, Rocket. Here we go. Man, are we getting elevated right now? This is a good trade for us. Now Rocket upside, bang, that one out, man. We are back from the dead here, and back from the dead huge right now. Palantir upside, boom. This is why you go scalp, hold. And that's exactly what we just tweeted out there. You guys can follow me. Almost 16,000 followers. Guys, we got to show the Moe again because we haven't done that in a bit. Make sure that you subscribe so we can drink that champagne. Eventually it'll be there, but here we go. Scalp, hold. Some for Palantir there. And if you guys like that trade, hopefully you'll like a few more because we're going to get this going, man. Fisker up to 26 cents now. It's a small one, but we're trying to break that VWAP. If that can go, hell yeah. And there's a beautiful out here for us. 35 even there on the out for Rocket. So hell yeah. Fire them off, Neil. Let's go. It's hot dog time.
Yeah, and look, 35 on the dime. And so I'm looking for that break at 35. Hands are on the keyboard. Because if it breaks, I want to scalp the first bit. Remember, 36.30 is another breakout trade. So I want to scalp the first bit out, maybe hold a small bit, maybe not even anything. You want to catch that 36 break. But Rocket trying. That was like the second time it tried to go through that 35. Goes up there, turns on a dime. It wasn't a gigantic level, but I guess that was enough. I'd call it like 70,000 shares, maybe a top. That's nothing when a stock is done 80 million, guys. So I think it's going to chew through it. Ignore these little wicks here, some dark pool late reporting prints coming through. If it breaks 35, I've either missed it and you'll hear me bang the table, or I've got the long, probably in like the 01 to like 15 range. But Rocket making its move finally. The market held that 38.50. That's probably why Square worked. I don't think this move has anything to do with it on Rocket. It's going to move to the beat of its own drum. But there's the break at 35. I got 10s. Let's see if it can't push it at 36. I like 36.10. Sorry, 36 to 36.30 as the first target out to get back in, and then a long trade on 36.30 on the break. Either way, it's got to go rather rapidly. I'm not holding this back through 34. If I'm only taking $1, I'm not risking more than $1 on that trade, because 33 is the next level of cover. Brendo?
Little one just moving here, guys. Just checking on QDN popping up on a volume scanner. You can see big volume coming in, big pop for QD. Chinese name, guys.
All right, QD. Yeah, I mean, we've looked at that trade over and over and over again. Okay, so we're still long here, man. 34.50 now on these breaks. We cashed out a bunch there. I told you the biggest spot for me is going to be this 36 even, my bad, on that one. So we'll watch to see if that can hold. And if it does, man, then yeah, hell yeah, on the upside here as we continue to cash in on Rocket today, man. A big trade for me.
Just get my orders locked and ready to go there. And if we break 34, I'll be out of it, so I don't actually have to worry about the actual positioning on Rocket, at least for the time being. But I do want to go back over to, where are you? Yeah, that ZOM trade. It is sort of heading back towards that high. I'm going to go to Brendan in a quick second here. I'm going to likely take a look at this, not just off of 235, like I said, but also off of the current high of day. If it gets to that, it's usually a good trade. So I'm now watching 225 to 220. It's not there yet, but I kind of misspoke when I said I'm only waiting for 235. That's not really true. I would take a look at shorting this one from 25 to 28. Brendo?
Another one from the watch list, guys. Lyft, we were talking about in the pre-market. Corporate update aftermarket yesterday. Current quarter update was better than expected. They're now expecting a smaller loss for Q1. Just broke 61 there, 52-week highs for Lyft, guys.
Yeah, and I actually wrote down, the only thing I wrote down here today for Lyft was exactly this, was 60 level there. Rocket 36 down. I mean, look, there it is right there. 36 downside. We were worried about that. It's the very first thing I wrote down. And then we wrote down Afria, so we could look at that as well to see what that's doing. But that's a cannabis name. We will have a quick look. Okay, so Palantir, guys. Yeah, big time move, man. We just got some of that 60 there. So hell yeah, it's backflip time, man. It took us a while to get going today. Some of these stocks finally did. So now we're holding on to a piece of Palantir. Still got a third of that trade now. So look at the NASDAQ bounce back. This happens every day, man. The rich keep getting richer. They're buying all of these dips in the market. Every day you've seen this happen. The NASDAQ gets pummeled off the open. Then you find a base and you rip it to base and you rip it to the north side. So that's what's happening right now. As well as Rocket, we're still in the money 40 cents. So we'll watch out for that at 35. That's been bouncing around 35 a few times. So we'll see. But look, I mean, you got to trade Rocket. You can't hold this thing. It's going to move 50 cents against you. So you got to wait to see what this one does. We held it way against us today. We're down on Rocket, but not as much as we should be. We've made a hell of a lot of money back here off of some of these bottoms. So let's just keep on mooning this stock, and let's just keep on doing these backflips, guys.
Yeah, and if I'm going to structure something as a breakout style trade, when it does not hold, and it's been basically consolidating at that range, if I was going to take out a good portion of it, like half, 60, 70% on the way up, I got to be willing to take some out at break even, because breakouts should either happen right away or be short duration or short percentage of daily move. In that case, it should be both. If it's $1, fine, it hasn't gone. That's when I'm going to lighten up the load. I still like it back towards that 33. So if it breaks 34, I'll get out of the rest of it and then load back in at 33. Got to like that price. Look, these aren't the only two stocks that are moving here. I do want to make sure that we're paying attention to Fubo, which has been active, and it's mixed for me. And if I had just stuck with the short, I think a little bit, of course, Fubo's not on my, I don't even know how that happened. It is on my watch list. But either way, there you go, there's Fubo. If I actually had dug back in when it pulled back into VWAP, would have had another winning trade, but it has made a bit of a bottom. Let's keep in mind, it was a flush through 38. Then it retraced to 37.50. That's where we were looking to short in front of before. It's trying now to break out through that price. If we get a 37.50 break, you're probably running into immediate chop, so I wouldn't play the long that way. I'd be playing it off of this 36 level because it's a better cover. I think if I have a short bias on the stock, I'll be very, very, conservative when it comes to picking out long. So no breakup, not a breakout trade for me at 37.50. More of a, if you can get 36.20s and then give it like 20 cents, that gives you like a 5-to-1 or maybe a 4-to-1 depending on how you want to see it on Fubo. It is short sell restricted, so if it ever comes back to that 35 in the afternoon, I'll probably be looking to go short through the low of the day. No guarantee you can get it without an uptick though.
So it's fruit salad again, man. We're going to eat some of this. I don't know, this white melon seems to be pretty tasty. The pineapple's super tasty today. So grab some pineapple there. It's really, really good. Okay, 24.62, 24.60. We've been dumping some Palantir upside, so no skin off our back right there. Rocket, again, guys, tried to go through 35. We're fine. I mean, not a big move. That's why we didn't really take anything through there. Through 35, we waited. We have 35.59s there, so this is not really against us. My big trade was going to be this 35 even break, so we got to wait on that one. And then Palantir, and then look at this, man. Talk about setting them up and bowling them over today. Another profitable win for us on Fisker, man. Breakthrough VWAP goes up to 27.09. We're long 26.38. So Fisker is still a good long for us and still working out. So yeah, what a big rebound, man. We were down a lot, and then in this started happening, started coming right back in. So we got to make that money back now. And yeah, we're infinitely much better than we were when Rocket was absolutely tanking there. But, you know, we massaged this trade all the way back. We took out some profits on the upside there, and now we're pretty light on it. I have to tell you that. We don't have many shares. We will build it back in, man. I don't know, 30, 33, if we can get that again, that may come, so that's a good trade. And then the Palantir, we've just absolutely destroyed that one as well. Slayed this dragon once again today, being very, very patient with it. I've definitely revamped the playbook here, guys. You know, sitting around and not changing your style only hurts you. So we've changed it. No more breakouts. The only breakout we had today, well, we'll still do lots of breakouts, but this Neo one right off the bat, what I'm talking about is these little plays. This is not worth it because you're not sure of what momentum could come into the name. So figure it out. I mean, there's no way I was going to pick that very bottom, but good thing we did get out here. Obviously, it retraces back, but look at that. We picked the right level. It just came crashing down when that did happen. So yeah, big day here, and I hope you're enjoying it, guys. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the share. That's all we're asking for. Only 2.3 right now. That's embarrassing. Valeria, you guys got to come with Valeria a hell of a lot more, guys, on that one to promote. I don't even hear her once today. So Valeria, show it. You're the one they want to see.
I know, Sean, it's embarrassing, guys. It's just 20 minutes left until the end of the show. Please help us to get more likes. It's officially like time now, guys. Everyone, take your finger and click the like button. Back to Sean.
Yes, exactly. Hit that like button. Let's see if we can get to 3,000 or 4,000. Neo, we did talk about this play right here, breaking through 43.75. That was a good long. Didn't have it, but congratulations if you did. That was instantly 50 cents right there.
And gonna look back and look, I got out of Rocket like I told you guys I was going to. A breakout trade, it breaks at 35. It doesn't go right away. Take out like 60% of it. I'll give the rest of that 34, which was the level I wanted to give it to. But if it can give me that 33 long again that we had, that took us to that 35 range, I'll gladly take it. On a retrace of 35 even, look, I probably would never take a breakout 3 times, but I will at least try it a second time if we try to take out 35. And then remember, I still love that 36.30. This is the halt price. I like halt prices on the way back upside. It did hold 36.30 after that little downward halt that you saw there. I was actually long into it and had to cover right before it halted. So that was an ugly trade. And you never want to get caught in halts. Watch out for those when they do come. But if it dips to 33, I'm going to have some Rocket involvement. Ocugen is still not breaking out of that range, guys, so probably nothing to see there. I can tell you Square is firmly in that chop zone. Now, I said, look, I'm going to take it off if it gets to 242. That was always going to be my plan. But if it can hold this consolidation zone, that 42 to 45 range, that could be good for another reentry as long as the ES is holding 38.50, as long as the NASDAQ, which is currently above that 1290, can hold some of those highs. I like it. Pull me once, shame on me. You know the rest of that. 35 is a second play. I will not try a breakout 3 times in a row, but I'll take 35 a second time if it does come here. Someone asked me where I had those puns like close only counts in horseshoes and grenades. I mean, I thought that was a very, very well-known pun. I actually first heard it from like one of my favorite teachers of all time. So shout out to Adele Allen, my business teacher. She'd say it a bunch, and I thought it was a good one, and she had known it for years. Again, maybe I'm dating myself, but I really thought that was a well-known saying, and that everyone would be familiar with it.
Yeah, probably are dating ourselves. I'm familiar with it, so that's how you know we're dating ourselves. 24.50 right now. Just took some more out. 24.55 on Palantir for yet again another backflip kind of trade, guys. And Fisker still 40 cents. Rocket rocking right now as well. We're trying to trade a little bit of that. Sorry, that's still Palantir. Here's Rocket 34.25. What you guys all want is more money, so why not put it towards your lunch? Here's lunch money, Brendo.
Favorite time of the day, a money sandwich. Yeah, it's lunch money time. We've had guests all week long, so we haven't gotten to lunch money. No guests today, so we'll talk about 3 trade ideas, guys, that you might be able to pay for lunch with. Who wants to start? I can go first, guys, or you can take it.
Then you should go.
All right, let's go here. NEO, guys, I want to talk about NEO. We've mentioned all week long, it's been a bit of a rough ride. You can see, chop fest on the daily chart for NEO. We did retake yesterday's close a little bit early on decent volume. So 43.65. I want to see a close in and around 43.65, 43.66, and then look for a long on a kind of bounce off of yesterday's close idea. So a little bit slow right now. Needs some volume, but 43.66, 65 area. Watching right now for a long on NEO. Who is next?
I can go. I mean, I just got in right now, so we could do Boeing, guys. We'll take this Boeing right now, 232.50, 232.60. I just punched in at 70, I think it was. So yeah, I just think, a little bit of a move upside today. I've been loving Boeing, so it may be trading a little bit of our own account here, but Boeing, we like that to the upside. That's going to be my play here. Take this long right now. We're in it. You can get 65s and just a target 233.50, something like that, if you could take it. And again, I'm going to give you a little bit of a bigger target on this, so we'll see if we can't take 75 cents. Because it's a little more expensive stock, I don't expect anybody to be pounding into 1,000 shares or anything right now. Even 100 shares is a lot of money, so watch out here. But there we go, instantly in the money now. We'll see if we get back up to 233.50 right now for us on Boeing. I do like this trade, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to give you Rocket because I've talked about this one enough for you guys. So I did just get in front of that 33 level, and I like that 35 break. But I'll give you OVID through 420. And this just happens to be where it based out. That was the best exit that I got on my original short. And I said if it consolidated here, I'd take a breakdown through that trade. I do really think it has no chance to go any further than $3. That's probably even pie in the sky. But you cut it in half, that $1.20 move from 420 to yesterday's close at 3, and you get about that 360 level, which I think is your best target. I'd have a bunch out in front of that 75 mark, so I'll go with OVID, although I did just get into Rocket. So I'll give that one back to 33, and again, keep scalping it to 35. And I'll try that break one more time.
All right, that's lunch money, guys. A couple good trades there. Let's see if they can work out for us. And hopefully they do. Right now, the Boeing is 20 cents in the money, but we got to wait on that one. Okay, so we just take a little bit more out on Palantir. You see the market fading in here a bit, so we'll take it out. We still are waiting to reload. I mean, this was a great break. We got a lot of these shares out upside there because it does come right to our target, guys. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. This is why we give you these levels, man. 24.57, 24.60. It's not coincidence where I'm getting out. Right now. We're getting out right here. I mean, this is our past resistance, so we take that right there. We will see what happens now to the upside on Palantir if it does retest those levels. I like it. Needs to break through view up before we get even more excited there. And by the way, let's go. We're right here. There's the lunch money right there. And bang! 75 cents for you right there. Brendan, this is $1 now in the money for lunch money as we continue to go upside there. So Boeing, whatever you want, it's a lunch money kind of day, and there it is. So fire that off. It's hot dog cannon time. There's your lunch money. Congratulations if anyone made that with me, guys. I just paid for lunch myself there.
I just want to make sure I actually get some of that fruit salad for lunch. You're making me hungry here, Sean. But a great lunch money trade altogether. And if I say lunch one more time, I'm literally going to be foaming at the mouth because I'm kind of hungry here. I do see the super chat, and thank you very much, Nick W. I'll look at Lovesac for you, even though it's not. This is not a stock that I've ever particularly traded or even owned. But it's clear to see a nice trend here. You're saying it's undervalued. You're looking to add to your position. You get a day like today where you do get a pullback in the market. And what I would have been saying if you can go back and forget about hindsight, because I could tell you that, oh yeah, you should have been adding when it took out or when it came to the 60 level, maybe that's worth it because it's like the top end of that previous range. It's trying to break out through it. But the reality is here is I'd be a little bit more patient than that. We're waiting for the end of the week to get some further numbers to come out. The Fed could be taking, or at least talking about taking, some more serious action to control the yield curve and inflation and whatnot. And you might see some of these names pull back a little bit deeper. And I would be thinking more about the 52 to 54 if I was looking at it, just the circumstances of this week and where I see this chart happening to be. And I couldn't really go any deeper than that because I've never really looked too heavily at Lovesac. But that's my 2 cents. If you're already in the money, there's nothing wrong with being patient in the name and getting your price and your price alone.
Money, 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 money. If you like it, it's here. There you go. Okay. So let's just say you said, you know what, Sean, you're being a little conservative, just taking 75 cents on Boeing. Yeah, you're right. Bang, right to the upside. This is a beautiful, this is $1.50 now in the money, this Boeing trade. We just took that for you right there. Thank you, Brendan, for the lunch money there. We got excited and took that trade. So now Boeing breaks above the high of the day, and we just keep on spinning it, man. So there it is. A lot of effort into some of these trades today, and I hope that you like it, man. It's just been working out quite well for us, and there it is again, man. A nice little $1.50 win for you. If you took it out at the top, I think it can still go. It's $1.25 right now. So there you go. Not talking out. That's it. That's the trade right there. So let's just wait to see on that one. Palantir, still, man, 30, 40 cents in the money right here. So let's let that one ride. And then Fisker. Yeah, this is why, man, we're sitting down, we're enjoying our fruit salad right now today because, look, Fisker's 40 cents in the money. Boeing's $1.80 now in the money, guys. Palantir, 30 cents now in the money. The only problem is here, Neil, our rocket is falling down a little bit, 33.50. Let's just see if that can hold. But right now, man, what a big day this has been for me on some of these names. We're still holding out for that rocket push, but thanks for joining us today. It's been a big one, and there's a $1.50 win for you on Boeing. What's up, Brad?
Just running through some of the relative volume names today, guys. This one popped up. Lee Enterprises, 12.5%. Recent highs here. It's very thin. Be careful, but might want to keep it in mind for the afternoon. Canal Capital reporting an 8.5% stake in Lee Enterprises. So relative volume speaking, it's doing way more than it usually does, guys.
And look, of course, there goes the break on OVID. I didn't actually get the position, so I guess I wasn't aggressive enough. It's kind of crazy. My stop does fire on OVID, although I don't get it. And again, why are you not in my quote board, despite the fact that I know you're there? So there's my order. There's the break at 420. If you're a little bit more aggressive, I think you probably would have had like 15s or so. But given the liquidity in the stock, I actually thought I was going to get like 17s on a 20 break. That it turns out not to be true. It halts right at 406. So if I can pick some up in the teens, I'll go ahead and do that. If I can still get an average price of 17 on the way back in, I'm perfectly happy with that. But there goes OVID. When you're taking a break up or break down trade, you've got to get it through that level. You have to pick a limit order. If you use limit orders like I do, you got to pick a price that you're willing to pay. If I'd used a market order, I would have certainly got in, but I never use a market order for a breakout trade or a breakdown trade. So it'll be pie in my face if this actually goes to 360 and I've missed it, but you got to stick to your execution plan. And it doesn't matter having a good idea. I just got some at 14s there, and I'll try to add 16, 17, and then at 19 as well. But it doesn't matter having a plan if you don't execute it properly, and I'm not going to break it just because one time I missed a breakdown trade.
All right, Fisker. So again, guys, we took out that Boeing, and if this doesn't wet your whistle there, thank you for all the kind words on the chat about this trade. So there it was right there, bang, right to the upside. Okay, it is what it is. We know there's reasons why you guys watch this show, and I'm sure that this new lunch money thing is one of those. As we just continue, I mean, look at it. Where did we go long, guys? 232.75. $2 now in the money. There we go. We'll do a little backflip, and then this is more important. We're firing these off for you. Those are big wins today, guys. For you again, another $2 winner brought to you guys right there. So a couple $2 losers also brought to you with Rocket right now, doing absolutely nothing on the bottom side. This is making me very, very nervous. I don't know if there's any juice left in this name. 33.27. Could it get going? Sure it could, but not sure. Look at the market starting to rip up here. Rocket not doing anything. We know Rocket doesn't follow the market, so no surprise there. 50 cents in the money right now on Fisker. Palantir, 40 cents now in the money on Palantir. So look, the big day continues. It's 11:23. Come back tomorrow. We only have 7 more minutes left. The big day is just getting started, I think. Palantir rips to the moon here, especially if these futures keep going. So we will wait to see if these diamond hands can prevail on Rocket, guys.
Yeah, I really hope that that's going to be the case. And like I said, it's trying to hold that 33. I'm going to still stick with it until it breaks that price. I just got more shares at Ovid at 14s. And again, if it comes back up to 20, I like to take that short into that range. And I've given you the targets already. And if you got the original break, you could have scalped it out. I actually think the first profit taking should be a little bit closer to that 4 even range. So call it like a 404 to 406, wherever it happens to stall out. I'll just throw a bid down there just in case it happens to go and get the first third. There's some potential trades, at least in the afternoon, that I want to sort of get at here. Ocugen is now holding this 1250. Now remember, this is where we got out of that short, right at like 1250. It was a 40 to 60 range. It's now trying to break to the downside. And remember, double bottom here, pre-market, and right here at the open at 1150. So I actually like it for a short in this 25 range, give it back to like a 50 versus 25 cents, and then see if it can't fall back into 1150. So I could have used this for lunch money, but it hadn't actually set up, and I was actually watching Ovid at the time. But a very, very similar structure here, and I'll get into Ocugen just before we get out of here. And it's not actually done, the earnings. There's still a few decent names on the board here, and Sean, you were talking about one of these a couple of days ago. Let's go to Brendan at the big screen. At least I think.
All right, guys. Yeah, it's we're coming to the end. We've been saying this of earnings reporting season over the past couple of days, but we do still have a few interesting ones coming up on the board, either after market tonight or before the open tomorrow. You'll see Michael's on here as one of them. This is going to be tomorrow morning, but with this new deal, really not much to talk about for Michael's.
Yeah, we talked about yesterday AEO there. That's American Eagle Outfitters. So we'll watch to see if that can get us a little bit of a runner there. Reporting again, a lot of the big. We've seen some moves in Target. We've seen some moves in Walmart. We'll check out Macy's and things like that. American Eagle Outfitters, just like Gap stores, if you want to find out a little bit about where that could go. And then a couple Chinese names on there. I don't know, not overly exciting for me. Watch out for Bally's, of course, Las Vegas Sands with a nice deal today as well. So BJ Wholesale's there. So yeah, whatever. It looks like a pretty light day to me, but exciting nonetheless, as we'll be here no matter what, guys.
Yeah, it really doesn't matter. We're always going to be here for you guys. I would completely, if I were you guys, be ignoring Michael's. You can forget about it. Like I said, it was literally not going to move. That's exactly what's happened. It was holding above the price. I will market make all day long because that's what I kind of like to do on the side. So there is some opportunity if you can be actively trading and then have basically almost near zero fees here at Day Trade the World. It's an advantage for us as a prop firm to do that style of trade. Otherwise, I would ignore it altogether. Something that is popular for me, and my wife makes a fantastic, I mean, she does it every single year. She makes this one. So I am very, very well versed. So we're going to Brendan. It's not even what national day it is. Got to go to Brendo first, and then we'll find it out. I see it on my screen, guys, and I'm already excited to pitch to it. So let's go to Brendan first.
Yeah, we mentioned it early on, guys, but worth a mention once again. If you haven't done so already, make sure you take a second, hit the subscribe button. We're trying to get to 200,000, guys. So if you haven't done so, make sure you take a second, hit the subscribe and like as well before you head out. Now, yeah, when we do, only when we do, we get that. So a little ways to go, but help us out, hit subscribe. Now we can go to V. No, not yet to Miss Valeria. Well, I'll pitch it again. So we are going to do one more thing before we get out of here. You guys are all watching Rocket. You know it has a chance to bounce. Don't forget about these. Don't forget about 35 and 36 just because it does nothing at lunch. If it doesn't move, the break happened. It can happen at 1 or it can happen at 2 o'clock. Do not forget about those prices. Don't fall asleep on what we know can be a fantastic mover. So look for those breakout prices whenever they do happen throughout the day. Maybe not at 4:05, maybe even then. Now we can get to Ms. V for what national day it is.
Thank you, Neil, and hey, dear viewers. I hope you had a great trading day. I wish you a great rest of the trading day and hope you enjoyed the show. I'll join Brandon here, and I'll remind you that we are just 14,000 away to reach 200,000 of subscribers. So please stay tuned to catch us celebrating live, and don't forget to subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. Happy National Mulled Wine Day, everyone.
Mulled wine is a great, great drink. If you just have an old bottle of red that you want to convert into something, but also around the holidays when it gets cold, which it does around in Canada. I absolutely love mulled wine. But the only drink that I'm thinking about right now is champagne. So I see that bottle of Moet, and I'm all over it. I want to get it, but we cannot touch it, guys. We have no chance of drinking it until we get to that 200,000. So we have to patiently wait. But either way, thank you guys for all the support and all the love throughout today. It's always been a lot of fun. But I can't say this enough. And I want to come to this because I know Rocket's a good trade. And I know it's a good stock. But please, 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 you're gonna want to check these out. We do videos on trade reviews all of the time, so you guys can see the thought process, maybe a little bit of risk management. We did one on Rocket. Sean went over his Rocket trade yesterday. It was a good one to be looking at. A, because, hey, it's moving today, so you want to be in what's moving and actually learning in real time. But B, because as a trader, everyone is always trying to grow and get better. That's a big part of what we're trying to do here, so don't hesitate to check that out. And just yet another reason why you can hit the like and subscribe, because we're putting in extra effort to do that for you guys every single day. This is what it's all about here. And because it is that time, you know what I got to do before I get out of here. And I'm going to end it a little bit differently because I have a special shout out to...
First of all, we should just end it right now with Fisker because we are nicely up here, $1 in the money there. So just to let you guys know, Fisker's, I haven't had that many positions today, but Fisker's another one that continues to work for us. So there it is, Neil. I just want to bring it to everyone's attention that Fisker's right now at this 27.50 level. So it's an 83-cent win right now for us on FSR. So we may want to decide to take out a bit more of this one, just giving you guys that update. So there you go, Neil, take it away. I'm not a huge fan of mulled wine, so there you go.
I love mulled wine, but I know it's one of those things that, like, trust me when I tell you, you either love it or you hate it, because it's not it's one of those things. I just don't feel like it's for everybody, but I absolutely love it, guys. For the entire team in the North Carolina blue, Miss V, which goes great with the pink hair. I love the salmon shirt. Sean and I, there was a compliment, came on air, and someone said, nice shirt, Brendan. So as always, he looks dapper. For Brendan Wiggins, I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is TraderTV Live, and I'm Uncle Meow. I had to say that. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys.